Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the panel. Happy to have you guys here. Unfortunately, this is how we'll be doing an episode today. So you guys make sure you like the video, subscribe, comment, do all that other good stuff. It's good to have you guys here. I never planned on doing a solo episode of the panel, but hey, we here, so let's rock out and have a good time.
This is why when I see him, Moss. This is why when I see him, Moss, I'm telling you, it's on site when I see Ron. This is exactly why, for that reason right there. When I see him,
chill. When you say on site, like, what does that mean? Like,
exactly what it means. Exactly what I said. When I see you, Ron, it's on. Like it goes from 0 to 60. As soon as I see you, that's what it means. As soon as I see you,
I could deal with 0 to 60. I'm not mad at that. Chill. You know, some cars go 150 miles per hour, so like 60.
I'm older now, so I don't move as fast to 100 as I used to, because it would go to 100. Yes, it would.
You don't want to pull anything?
I don't.
All right. I don't. Yeah. All right, so I hope everybody had a good weekend. We got a couple good things to get into for this episode. But as you guys can see, the title of the show is Kevin Garnett versus Tim Duncan versus Giannis Antetokounmpo. Why this topic came about, some of y'all might ask. Well, the good brothers at Open Gym introduced this topic. So salute to Damo for being such a genius and presenting this to us, and Mars for being there as well. But also, if you weren't here on Friday, we did our power forwards list, and I'll go ahead and bring that up, and we'll go through all of that. But it was a lot of back and forth on where Giannis should be, and we didn't necessarily get a chance to get into it, but some other people had things to say about Kevin Garnett versus Tim Duncan. So I wanted to get you guys' thoughts and opinions and gain some clarity on those two guys as well, and just figure out between these three, who's best at what. So we will be doing a Garnett versus Duncan versus Giannis versus, and we'll see who's best at certain categories, and then we'll see who's just better overall. A Hall of Famer, a legit Hall of Famer, Multi-Kenny said, chill a Crown Vic.
Yeah, them Crown Vics still, you see them police car Crown Vics, they still get around. They just got to warm up. That's all.
Cool. Well, it was a couple things that happened over this weekend. We'll wait for Swiper to get in here, but we got some things to talk about for the Nuggets. And then it was also some other signings and stuff like that, and some other comments that was made from certain coaches. While we waiting for Ox and Swiper to get here, I just want to talk about Joe Mazzulla on the Celtics. He said, talking about the Celtics having a target on their back, he said, I wish we started tomorrow. I hope it's even 10 times harder than it was last year. People are going to say the target's on our back, but I hope it's right on our forehead, in between our eyes. I hope I can see a red dot. How do we feel about this?
I love it, to be honest with you. I do. Because it sounds to me like you owning your greatness. That's what it sounds to me like. You're not tiptoeing around it. You're not afraid of it. The majority of these guys in the league, not guys, I'm sorry, the majority of the teams in the league, they have this humility about them where, I don't want to say too much. Hey, this is where the belt is. You are the champs. When you're the champ, you got to walk like the champ. You got to talk like the champ. You got to carry yourself like the champ. And you can't run from being the champ. That's why I've always hated when I hear that nonsense of, that was just last year. There's a reason why we got more games on TV this year. There's a reason why teams play harder against you now than they did last year. There's a reason why teams come after you more than they did last year. There's a reason why there's more expectation on you than it was last season, because this is where the belt is. And when you are the champs, there's a certain level of expectation that comes with that. You got to play at that level. You got to own that. And don't be afraid of it. And I'm digging Coach Mazzulla standing on that, saying that this is where the belt is. Essentially what I heard from him is, this is where the belt is. You want it, come get it. Line them all up. We ran our whole crew back. Whoever wanted with us, come get it. Don't be afraid of it. And I've always dug that about champions. Always.
Yeah. In the words of my man Nip Hussle the Great, you know what I'm saying? Sound like he's saying the gunshots charging.
One more time, Mox, you went out.
Big Ox.
You went out, Ox. One more time. Say what you said. We heard Nipsey Hussle.
Big Ox.
Cut out.
Hear me?
We can hear you now.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it sounds like he's saying basically the sound of gunshots charge him up.
Come get it, Ox.
Yeah, he activated. He activated. So that's what's up. I like to hear that from the coach.
I do, man.
Just like you said, Chill. I'll be tired of all that PC. Oh, I gotta be apologetic, or I gotta talk about how much I respect this person and they're great, this and that. Nah, forget all that. Basically,
this what a belt is, Ox.
Forget all that, man.
Yes, this what a belt is. We worked our ass off to get here.
Yeah.
You want to knock us off? Come do it.
Chill. What coaches just over time, like, really talk the most smack? So I know Mike Malone was talking. What, that was 2 years ago, or was that last year where Mike Malone was talking to? Hey, he was talking that big talk.
Mm-hmm.
But over time, like, what coaches would you say, like, really, be in the media talking like, yo, we not scared. We want whatever y'all got for us. We want it.
Pat Riley said we winning it again next year. Yeah, he said we winning it again next year, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Casey Jones, he talked about how awesome his team was. I mean, Phil Jackson, when he talked about the Knicks in the '93 East Finals, that's the way that they play on their floor. They ain't gonna play that way on our floor like that. No, they're not gonna do that in our building.
I don't believe in being humble in sports.
You can be, Ox, and the reason why here's the difference.
I mean, to a certain extent. This
is what I'm saying, Ox. I feel like you can be off the strength that you can recognize where it comes from. I know who came before me, so I'm humble in the extent that I know that I belong. But when I'm here, this is what a belt is. I'm the champ. You want it, dig the line. Come get it. Come get it.
Yeah. It's like, obviously, I believe in, like, respecting what we're doing. Like, respecting the game of or whatever competition, sport, or whatever we're partaking in. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I believe in respecting that. But as far as you can't talk trash, respect your opponent, I don't believe in that. Right. Like, I believe in, as long as it's not crazy, you know what I'm saying? We're not completely just disrespecting each other. But from an athletic standpoint, I don't believe in the nice guy, buddy stuff. Like, and that's from everybody, coaches, players, you know what I'm saying? We're not supposed to be friends right now. You know what I'm saying? We can like, during the off season or even, off the court, we can be respectful to each other. It's not like we hate each other, really. Right. You know what I'm saying? But I like the back and forth bickering and just, saying what you really feel. I mean, you worked hard. That's one of my favorite parts of it. That's actually probably my favorite part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah. I can get with that. Sure. I can definitely get with that.
I heard some L's were taken yesterday in PCL.
Oh.
I didn't get a chance.
Three people lost because there's 3 debates.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And a bye week for somebody too. Acknowledge.
Yeah, what happened with that?
Well,
I really don't know.
We gifted Chill, pun intended, on the gifted part. We gifted Chill with the bye week. So we felt that if we were going to give one of our elder statesmen a bye week, we should also give one of our rookies a bye week too. So John D is going to advance as well.
Why do people get bye weeks?
Swipe it.
In the playoffs.
It's a forfeit. That's what happens.
Too many questions.
Who forfeited?
It happens. The
person,
but the number 1 seed doesn't get a bye.
The person who was supposed to show up didn't show up. That's a forfeit. But
the number 1 seed didn't get a bye.
No, I had to show up.
March, you could have literally came in speaking of bye and said hi, bye. You would have won.
Nah, man. Real ones know how hard I prepared for that. Like, if anyone gets a bye, it should have been me. But I mean, it is what it is.
You essentially did get a bye.
Okay,
just because you showed up.
He was in your group, so don't disrespect your group. Don't do that.
You the one who was talking about how good he was.
Yeah, he was good. He did good. You got a bye and you're like the 5 seed. Meanwhile, I go actually go out there and perform.
I didn't get a bye. I had a forfeit. Those 2 things are not the same thing. Okay. I didn't
call it what you want. Call it what you want.
No.
You through to the next round without having to compete. Call it what you want.
Not that I didn't want to. Because I was just like you said, I was prepared too. I prepared myself for that as well. It wasn't like I was just showing up because the guy that I was going up against was the real deal. And I was very much prepared for that.
Until you told him not to show up.
Yeah, that's what I. So if that's the case, Mars, you could have very well told Jack not to show up.
No, because I want to compete.
And I don't? Is that what you're saying?
If you get another bye
We're not
next
just
week,
showing
you're
up
gonna
for
see.
playoffs.
Is that what you're saying, Mars? I don't want to
If
compete.
you
So when I
get
get in
another
the ring
bye
with
next
you,
week, we'll see. If you get
so when I get in the ring, with you, I'm gonna call you up and say, Mars, I don't want you to show
How's
up.
the bracket laid out, Ron? Like
I'm
who's
scared
gets
of you,
to see
Mars?
who in the semifinals?
we'll see if you get to me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Or if
this
you get
is
to
the
me.
quarterfinal, Swiper.
I know, but how does it if whoever wins the quarterfinal? Like, so what is the semifinals? Like, who's laid where on the bracket?
So it's
I don't
always
think they
going to be
figured
the
that out
top
yet.
seed versus the lowest seed.
Yeah.
So
I get that.
number 1 Mars will be facing number 14 Gifted after he advanced yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
That's a yap
RIP
off
to
for
a
sure.
certain individual. What do you mean it was a yap off?
That's
What you mean?
going to be a yap off.
RP to who?
Oh,
I'm still
yeah,
standing.
it probably will be. Yeah, probably.
That's my shit too. I love that song.
I do too. I do too, Ox.
Ox, you not lumped up right now?
No, I actually
You're gonna be lumped up. I know that, Ron. You are.
I had a hell of a day yesterday.
Bro,
I
that's
really did.
twice. The stream.
Two
Yo, we
times.
11 minutes in the stream.
Ron
Two
gonna
times.
be-
You better watch yourself, Ron.
Hey,
Nah, but
Ox,
for real,
like
though, like for real, I really had a hell of a day yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Took that
Word.
L, but that's no big deal. Swiper, I told you what I was doing yesterday, and I finally did it. Got up and did my stand-up comedy last night. It was fire.
Word.
Yeah. And people
That's
liked
dope.
it too. So that was clapping and everything. You know what I'm saying? They actually said I had the best set, you know, so it was dope. It was dope. I told y'all I'm funnier than Mace.
Okay.
Didn't I tell y'all? I told y'all I was funnier than Mace.
You did. So you did you signed up to do like improv.
Yes, it's open mic comedy night. So anybody, you know, whatever. It's a lot.
That's
It's a lot of
that's
like.
one of
It's
the
a,
hardest things to do in public speaking. So
Yes.
mad
it's a
respect
lot.
for
It's a
that.
lot of. It's a lot of like local comics that come there and they like work on their
Mhm.
set a lot. So I've been seeing a couple of them, and then so I just pulled up, you know, yesterday, and you know, did my thing.
How
Dope.
long was your set? 5 minutes?
So you can do 7 to 10, but since I was a newcomer, they were like, we'll just give you 3, and if you're doing good, well, I'll let you keep going. But if you kind of like not
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
too
yeah.
great, we'll flash the light. So they let me. I did like 6 minutes though.
That's a
dope.
lot of material to go through, bro.
Yeah.
6 minutes
5
is
minutes.
a lot of
5,
jokes.
6 minutes. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it was dope. It was dope.
All right, y'all. So we got number 1 Mars versus number 14 Gifted. Number 2 Dion from Ohio versus number 11 Hayes. Shout out to Hayes for being a underdog and advancing, and Gifted as well. Number 4 Swiper versus number 10 John D.
That's next week.
Yeah, and then we got next Sunday, and then we got number 5 Chill versus number 8 Pirate. I think that's probably gonna be the best battle next week.
So Chill, Pirate, Mars, Gifted, me, John D, and who?
Dion from Ohio versus Hayes.
Dion's still gone.
Yeah,
Dion's still
Dion beat
Mhm.
Dion beat Emto yesterday. Yeah.
Well, like
I'm telling y'all, Dion is the favorite right now.
Yeah,
You're not buying that.
so wait, just to get Ron. So who's laid out where? Like, is it like me and Mars on the same side? Is it Dion and Mars on the same side?
he's saying if I were to beat Gifted, and let's say Hayes was to beat Dion, I would go against Hayes because he's the lowest seed left.
Yeah.
I just go up against the lowest seed left. It's not a bracket.
whatever, no matter
Because
what.
you're the highest seed, sure.
Yeah.
I got that.
And then
That's
if
how
I
it is.
win versus John D, then I would face most
Whoever
likely
the
Dion
highest-
or
Dion
or whoever Chill's side is, right?
Yep.
probably. Yeah.
Dion or Chill,
Mhm.
basically Dion or Chill.
Yeah, well, Pirate or Hayes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Pirate, yeah.
Well, it's probably gonna be Dion versus Gifted next round,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll just have to see.
Who's the Dana?
Probably.
Yeah. That's shout out, man. It should be it should be
Shout out
fun.
to Dion, man. Dion hooping right now. I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Yo,
Mhm.
yo,
What?
if
I can't say
no,
that?
No, it's not that.
Oh.
Dion coming in here, turning things up, and I mean he's the favorite right now to beat John D. Dion coming in here and walking to the Elite 8 or to the Final 4 is heat. Absolute heat.
Who are the judges? Are you allowed to reveal who the judges are? You don't have to if you don't need to. I don't really need to know.
I would love to, but for the sake of our beautiful judges that we have,
It's just 2 judges.
Payroll, yeah. For the finals, we might do 5 judges.
I feel like I should the whole panel. I mean, whoever's not in it that's on the panel should be a part of the judges, probably.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to supersede.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's what we contemplated doing that, but it might be some personal biases. Like, let's say,
so we don't want to do that.
Let's say it's gifted in Mars, and let's say a certain somebody's up there. They might not vote for gifted.
Well, I think at this point, what I realized is because even when I won yesterday, I apparently won 3-0. I didn't think I won 3-0, but that's just the way people thought I had a better argument. Whatever. The person that I think would be best to judge me is there's a conglomerate of people, but then Mars needs to be in that. Mars is the one that thinks I do the poorest relative to everyone else. So I think that if he's there, he can at least that together will hold everything in balance. And I think that will work out best for just the overall fairness.
Is that fair, Mars?
Well, I think he lost yesterday, so
he thinks I've lost 3 debates at least or something like that.
Well, I think you lost to John D. I think you lost yesterday. I can't remember your first 2.
You think he lost yesterday?
I think he lost 2-1, but yeah.
Mars is I think I've seen in the chat Mars has legit said I've lost I think 3 of the 4 debates that I've done, if not
probably, but I only remember the last 2, but I know I had you losing the last 2 for sure.
So 75% of the debates you've been in, you lost,
and then I might see him in the finals, and then he'll think I've lost the finals as well.
More than likely, yeah.
Hold up, Mars. What do you think he lost on though? So
the first round, the Steph Kareem thing, I think he lost that one, and I think he lost the Magic and Bird versus Steph and LeBron one. I think he won the Duncan and Dr. J one. So
why do you think he lost those though?
See, Ron don't read the comments. I left a comment explaining all this. I think he lost the first one because he spent most of his time just talking about how the 3-point shot revolutionized the game instead of talking about how Steph weaponized it versus how Kareem weaponized it. I think ZZ did a better job of explaining how Kareem individually weaponized his hook shot and how dominant it was, whereas Swiper went more on a tangent of how the 3-point shot changed the game and how Steph spearheaded that. I feel like that's less.
He didn't I guess my closing segment. He didn't feel like was enough for just me talking about Steph individually.
Yeah, I feel like he spent 2 rounds just talking about how the game has changed with the 3-point shot, whereas ZZ focused more on the individual of Kareem. And then the Magic and Bird one, I feel like that's one of them ones I don't feel Swiper did anything to lose. I think ZZ just hit every point he needed to hit about Steph and LeBron.
Besides saying that LeBron's a better off-ball player than Larry Bird, but whatever.
Well, he used Steph's off-ball as a stronger talking point than anything. Him bringing up LeBron being by far the best defender there.
Then he said that Tim Duncan has a GOAT defender argument, which I laughed at.
Well, I think he lost that round. I think he lost that round. So I think he won that one. But the Steph LeBron one, I think he made every point that was possible to be made. And I liked how he used your point from the previous rounds about Steph's gravity opening up the court. And then he used that point in the next round against you. It's talking about Steph's playmaking and how that's going to open up the court for everyone and how Steph gets the most attention on the court.
And then I countered with Larry Bird running sets. And I brought up sets. I think that's what won it. I brought up sets that you could run with Larry and Magic. And
I like that out of you, Swiper. I like when you got to do it.
I talk hoops. I'm not Mars. I don't just do gravity and GPM and all that other kind of stuff.
Swiper,
we're talking 4 or 5 pick and rolls and all that. Well, go ahead.
Swiper, you think James is a better off-ball player than Bird?
No,
he thinks Bird is better.
I think Bird's a better off-ball player than James.
I think most people think that.
So I got a couple questions for you guys. The first one is the Tim Duncan GOAT defender.
Hell no. Excuse my language.
But how far off is he though? Let's say this
he's
is
about 2 tiers off. Respectfully.
Yeah, I don't. I think you can make the argument.
So you
now
at
the bottom
if you don't include Bill Russell.
I'm saying that's crazy. No, I think Bill Russell.
Yeah, but
I think
some
Hakeem,
people don't include him. But if you don't include him, I think you can.
Yeah, I think Bill. Hakeem,
hold on, Swiper. Before you go any further, I want to paint this picture so I understand. I want to make sure I'm following you. So the tiers. So the best defender, and then
second tier.
And then
all-time great tiers, both of them. GOAT defenders. Second tier, all-time great defenders, and then you get like your Rodman and all that other stuff for me at the next one down. I think that Bill Russell
is in a GOAT defender.
Bill Russell and Hakeem are up here in particular, and then you can start, filtering who you want. But then you start getting into like your Ben Wallaces, your Rudy Goberts, your Tim Duncans, your Draymonds, like all this other stuff like here. But I think the problem is like there's such a gap between Bill Russell and Hakeem. I don't even think Duncan was a better defender than Kevin Garnett. So before you even get to like to go, you got to pass KG, and I don't think KG is a better defender than Bill was or Hakeem was. So I mean, that's just for me. Like it's gonna be hard to get there.
So is it fair to
go ahead.
So is it fair to say that KG is the gatekeeper of the GOAT defenders? Like if you can't get past KG,
well, I
then
just
you're
think
not in the
KG
conversation.
in the 2000s proved to be a better, more valuable defender when both were at their apex already. Like to start.
I don't know.
Without, I don't think there's a better defender than Kevin Garnett for the 2000s.
Ben Wallace?
No, I don't think Ben was better either. I think Ben was supplied with. If you gave, think about it. If you gave KG from 01 to 05, gave him Rasheed Wallace,
sure,
what they would have done defensively, or gave him Chauncey Billups on ball consistently, what they would have done defensively.
Right.
Again, it was the lineups he was playing with Latrell Sprewell, Wally, Sam Cassell. They were anchoring. He was anchoring a top 3 defense, top 4, top 5 defense every single year,
right.
And then including in clutch time playoffs, like they were elite. The problem is they just didn't have enough defenders, and then they didn't have enough scoring on the other. So KG was responsible for being the best defender in the world, and then at the same time being their best offensive player and being a 21-14 guy in the playoffs, like on really good efficiency. Like,
does that hamper Tim Duncan off the strength that he had Bruce Bowen as a defender?
I don't think it hampers him. I just think that's like he was already a really good rim protector. And
the reason why I'm asking that, Swiper, is because when I think about Bruce Bowen as a defender, as great as he was as a defender, I mean, wouldn't that be attributed to having Tim Duncan? I mean,
1,000%.
I can appreciate the logic of Kevin Garnett not having a level of defender on his crew like Bruce Bowen, but they were consistently a top 2, top 3 defense in the league for a lot of years.
They were.
That was.
But that's what I'm saying. Tim Duncan nothing to take away from Tim Duncan. But if you're asking me like, what's better, like a all-time great rim protector, which KG was, weak side help defender, a terrific on-ball defender, a terrific drop coverage defender, who's also like maybe the fastest player on the court, 6'6", 6'7" and above. You know, like you just put all that together, and he had like crazy arm length. He was super smart. He was extremely physical. Like all that put together, I think for me, it's just like even when he got advanced in age, quote unquote, 31, 32, when he got to the Celtics and they won in 08, they don't win if KG's not doing what he does over the course of that playoff run and into the finals. So I just think Kevin Garnett for me would be the barometer for the 2000s, let alone, if you're getting into like, whatever. So
I feel like the versatility is what separates Tim Duncan, because he could guard multiple positions, just like Kevin Garnett could. I think Garnett could guard on the wing, but also Duncan could do that as well. So when I think about Duncan having to switch onto Latrell Sprewell in the NBA Finals, having to deal with him on the perimeter, having to not only drop, but when we talk about getting in recovery, I think Tim Duncan was one of the best recovery defenders that the league has ever seen. And when we talk about a rim protector, like you talked about with Kevin Garnett, I mean, Tim Duncan, I think that he was a better rim protector, considering he had to go up against 5 men more frequently than KG did, because KG didn't play the 5 nearly as much as Tim Duncan. That's where the versatility argument comes in. And I think that Tim Duncan also, to Mars's point, when he talks about weaponizing that, I think Tim Duncan weaponized his ability to rebound, to speed the game up for his team.
How much better do you think, let's say 23 AD, the defense 23 AD in the playoffs, when he was like showing that he's probably the best defender in the world, like gap, him and Bam, him, Gap, Bam, and then everybody else. How much better do you think Duncan was, like, or not Duncan, KG was, like 28 years old, whatever the AD was at that point?
If we're talking about KG, because that's essentially Anthony Davis at his best, if we're making that argument. So if we're talking about KG at his best, so we're thinking what, 2002 to what, 2005, maybe. I think they live in the same neighborhood. I don't think they live on the same block, but I think they live in the same neighborhood. And I would take.
You think Rudy's better than KG?
Do I think Rudy? I think Rudy's a better help defender. I think he's a better team defender than KG. I think he's a better rim protector than KG. I do think that. I think he's a better rim protector.
Chill. Do you not like KG?
I love KG. I love KG.
I'm starting to really.
KG is not. Wait. I think KG is a better defender than Rudy, but I don't think he's better at everything on the defensive end than Rudy. No, I don't think that. But I do think he's a better defender than Rudy. I think he's more versatile than Rudy. I do think he's a better one-on-one defender than Rudy. I won't argue that. I think he's more versatile. I think he's better on the perimeter. I think he's a better one-on-one defender than Rudy. I think Rudy's a better rim protector than him. I do think that. I just don't think that KG's better at everything than him. That doesn't mean that he's not a better defender than him.
No, that's not crazy to say. And I'm not saying it's it is obviously based off what you just said, but it's just other things I've heard you say about KG where I'm just like, chill, maybe you just don't like the early thousands.
No. Would you have him on your power
Hey.
forward list that we finished last Friday?
He had him at
3.
3, right?
Yeah, I have him at 3.
Behind
Who's two? Dirk?
Melo on your list,
32,
chill.
number 32.
No T-Mac on your list.
Malone better than Dirk. This
No
is what I'm
Kobe
saying.
on
Like,
your
this is-
list?
I just don't. That's what I feel like.
know,
We're just.
chill.
What I'm trying to understand is how should I feel about KG? Don't get me wrong. I think KG as a bucket getter, he was versatile, being able to knock down the mid-range. Not only knock down the mid-range, he was great in transition. I think a lot of the other stuff, the rah-rah, I think that was fluff. I don't think he was. Yeah.
How can leadership and intensity be fluff?
Whoa. Again, when I say rah-rah stuff, I think
It's rah-rah.
Let me rephrase that. I think the tough guy stuff. I think a lot of that was fluff.
How is
I don't
it
think
fluff
that-
if that's your
Okay,
personality?
I'll tell you. I'll no, because there was certain. He knew who to mess with and who not to mess with.
Who did he not mess with?
He didn't get. I never seen him getting a start in my face. Kenya Martin made it clear that he wouldn't bother with him. He knew
They were
who to
both
mess
the
with
same
and who
kind
not
of
to mess
guys,
with.
though.
That doesn't. Make
Especially Mart, especially Kmart.
even if that's true, he didn't get in those guys' face. That's the
What
point.
I got to get you?
But
What you gonna do? Hit a pop up jumper over me? Kmart with that? What, I don't need to say nothing. What you gonna do? You wasn't like you was scoring?
What? Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't.
But
Kmart was on my team for years. He wasn't scoring like that. Respect. Go ahead.
Sure, he was. I mean, he was. No, don't get me wrong. He wasn't a 20 a game guy like Garnett was. No, I ain't saying that. He wasn't doing that. But I'm not. What you're not gonna do, Ron, is you're not gonna make me sound like I don't like Kevin Garnett. Or
It sounds like he's your honest.
No.
It sounds like
I
he's
just
your
don't think he was better than
Giannis.
Duncan.
Like Ox.
That's all. He was not better than Duncan. He
No, you
not
also
saying
were the
that.
only person
No.
on the list. You were the only person that didn't have KG number 2.
I don't think he wasn't better than Malone.
Yeah,
No.
he
You're
was.
the
Yeah, he
only
was. Please stop.
person.
Please stop. Please
No,
stop.
he
Yeah,
was
he
not
was.
Didn't
better
have
than Malone.
T-Mac
He was.
and Melo on your list.
I'm so sick of this Malone nonsense. I really am. I'm so sick of this
Please.
Malone.
So
Because he-
enlighten
so,
me.
Malone
was he even a
Enlighten
better?
me on Malone.
Was he even? Well, hold on. Let me ask you this: was he even a better mid-range shooter than Kevin Garnett?
Yeah, he was
Malone?
stroking that mid-range.
Was Malone a better mid-range shooter than
Yeah.
Kevin Garnett? Yes.
Yeah, because yeah, Ron. I'm saying, Ron, relax. We have all these conversations about trying to be more professional. Here, go Ron. Go ahead. Go ahead. Chill.
Yes, I think he was a better mid-range shooter in transition and in the half court. He was a better stop and pop transition shooter than Kevin Garnett. Yes,
No,
I
he
do
wasn't.
think that.
Okay, move on. All right. So that was he a better passer?
We literally just had this conversation.
I
Yes.
wasn't here. I left. I had to go to work.
Yes.
He was a better passer than KG.
I don't think you give Malone nearly enough credit for his ability to pass.
I give him a
Not
lot of
only
credit.
is
He
it-
didn't pass.
No,
up
you
a lot of
don't.
things.
And the reason, no, you don't. And the reason why you don't give him a lot of credit is because I don't really think you paid attention to Malone's ability to pass. Malone's ability to hold you at bay, not just hold you at bay, to freeze you when guys are going by and hit John Stockton underneath the basket when John Stockton stays there, or when to hit Jeff Malone, or Jeff Hornacek when these guys are coming off screens, when to hit them. Knowing when to hit guys in split action, because that's the kind of offense that they ran. They ran a UCLA cut where John Stockton, where Jeff Hornacek, where Jeff Hornacek comes off the screen and he comes off a double screen. Well, when he comes off the screen at the top and then comes off the double screen on the weak side, Malone is on the block after John Stockton hits him in the post. Once he sees him, Malone could either score, he recognizes the double team, he could pass over his head. He knew when to throw the ball on the floor. He knew when to skip the ball. Absolutely, I think he was a better passer than
Was
Kevin
he the
Garnett.
third best ball black man of the 90s and 2000s?
I don't know if I understand your question.
Is Malone the third
He
best
wasn't
ball
better. He
black
wasn't
man
better.
of
He wasn't
90s?
better than Jordan. No, he was not better than Jordan.
Was he better
No,
than
he
Shaq? Or was he better than Shaq?
in the 90s? Yes.
Yes. In the 90s?
Yes.
From 94 to 98.
Are we serious? Yes. He was.
No, yes. I'm asking, what are you serious?
I'm taking Karl Malone.
No, he
over
wasn't.
Shaq.
He wasn't better than Shaq.
Yes,
He
I
wasn't
am.
better than Shaq.
I'm
No,
taking
he
Karl
was
Malone
not
over
better
Shaq.
than Shaquille O'Neal. This is what I'm saying. You're just being biased. You're just being biased.
No,
at this
I'm
point.
not being biased. I'm going off of what I've seen.
He can hit a
from
pretty
Biased
10-footer.
against his planet.
He could hit a pretty 10-footer. That's all it is. That's all it is. He wasn't better than Shaq.
Pretty 10-footer.
Oh,
Pretty
that was
10-footer.
A 10-footer as opposed to a
Lars calling Malone
17-footer
pretty?
because he was the one who
I said that
stretched the
wasn't
game.
pretty. Calm down, man. Calm
Not
down.
only did he stretch the game, his ability in
Yes, that's
transition,
correct.
how much better he was.
Better
And
than Shaq in transition.
As good as Shaq.
No,
was
he
in
wasn't
transition.
better than Shaquille O'Neal than transition. in the
Karl
late
Malone
90s.
running the floor in
No,
transition?
he wasn't better than Shaq. He wasn't.
His
Well,
ability to
I never
stop
even
and
heard nobody
pop
say
in
that before.
transition?
Man, you've been tripping. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No,
Ever since
you're the one who-
Salsa night.
I'm the one
Ever since
tripping.
Salsa
You're the
night,
one
you've been acting
tripping, Swiper.
different.
You are
You've been acting
crazy,
different.
man.
Well,
Get the hell outta
Swiper,
here.
Swiper. According to the
Swiper just
chat,
says this stuff to
it
press
hasn't
buttons.
just been since Salsa night. According to the chat, Chill's been on a 3-month
I don't
spiral.
know what the hell I'm watching. Y'all dudes is fucking crazy, man. Shaq. So we're talking about Karl Malone in the 90s from 1994 to 1999, which was his prime years. Shaq had significant.
And he wasn't better than
I'm
Shaquille
not done.
O'Neal.
I'm not done. This is bullshit. I'm not done. He
All
had
right, let me look at
significant
this.
holes in his game from 1994
And Malone
to
didn't?
1999. Hell no, not at that point he didn't. Not at that point he didn't. He was
Hey,
better
hold
in
the ball to
mid-range.
double team Malone. Hold the ball to double team Malone. How about that? Don't lose the ball consistently. Don't suck in the clutch. Don't suck in the clutch in the NBA Finals. Bring that up. Don't miss every shot. Don't brick everything. And that turnovers when it matters most. Karl, in back-to-back finals. Bring that up. Bring that up. Nothing to say? Nothing to say?
Wait a minute. I didn't say that. He missed a free throw. Yes, he did. He missed a free throw in game. I think it was game 2. Game 1. I'm sorry. Game 1 in 97 in the finals. And Jordan ended up hitting that.
You know why?
Jump
He was
shot.
focused on things he shouldn't be focused on.
Such as what? I'm sorry. You're in his mind, Swiper. So you know what's going on in his head. So what was in his head,
know what
Swiper?
he's focused on.
What was going on in his head, Swiper? Since we're on that subject. Because we're talking about Shaquille O'Neal in 1994. I think Shaq in 1994 was 22 or some shit like that. But he was better.
So?
He was better.
So what's the
than
age
Karl
gotta do with
Malone,
it?
Who was
What's
in the
age
league
gotta
for
do with
No,
it?
9
let's not
years.
say that when we're talking about this guy. Let's not do that. Yeah, let's not do that.
Anyway,
I got KG.
Yeah, I got KG. I don't know why this is.
But yeah, me and Chill had the discussion last week. Like,
Yeah, I missed it. And sure, I'm sorry I had to leave because I would have loved to have this
we're having it right
conversation with
now.
you.
We're having it
But
right now.
I think
We're having
you're
it right
tripping
now.
personally.
Well,
Again.
And I think you're tripping too.
The
And
title of
reason
the
why I
show.
think-
Go ahead, Chill. Go ahead.
And the reason why I think you tripping is because, again, I look at what Kevin Garnett has done, and I look at what Malone does. I think about what Malone did in his prime. Peak and prime are not the same thing. They're in the same tier, but they're not the same thing. And I think about what Karl Malone did in his prime.
You think
And
Karl
what-
Malone was better than KG at their apex?
Oh my god. Can we let
But,
him
but no, hold on. This is what I'm trying to understand. When did KG ever, and I mean, Chill, look at me when I ask you this. When did he ever have the team around him to fortify his skill sets from 2003 till 2007 that Karl Malone did at that
Think
point?
about
If
that.
he had a
Think
John
about
Stockton,
that.
if he had a Havlicek, if he had a Byron Russell, if he had even a Greg Ostertag apparently, because he was a great rim protector, rebounder, whatever else. I don't know what you're going to say about Greg Ostertag. If he had any of that stuff, the whole conversation about him will be different.
Okay, so you just brought up 2003. He was in year 8 at that point. 8. So we're almost in a decade.
Who?
Garnett.
So?
We're in year 8. What do you mean so?
That's
You
when you
just
said
told me
guys.
that
That's
ain't-
when you said guys speak out because you said Anthony was by year 8. He can figure all this stuff out, and Luka's going to start diminishing at 30. Therefore, he's
right.
going to start relying
right.
on his
That's
skills
right.
profile
That's
and
right.
less
Which would
relying on his
explain why- which would
athleticism.
explain
And that's
Malone-
why
which
he's
would
going to be
explain
better
why
than Luka.
Malone was what he was and Shaq wasn't. That's why Malone was what he was and Shaq wasn't. So Shaq in year 8 is way different than Shaq in year 3 or year 4. KG, who was in Minnesota, and I'm not going to argue that Minnesota didn't do a great job in building a unit around him. However, he did have Marbury for 3 years. He did have Terrell Brandon, who was an all-star. He did have those kind of players. Yes, he did. Don't dismiss that, Swiper. Don't dismiss that.
Famous
Don't-
playoff
don't
riser Stephon Marbury.
don't
What? I
dismiss
wonder
that.
what happened. I wonder what
Oh.
happened in New York. Like we don't remember. He was a shot chucker. His name was the best thing about him. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like Marbury too, but he was out the league for a reason. 100%. He was. And then on top of that,
After playing
when
12
KG
years,
had to face the Mavericks
after
and Dirk
playing
and them.
12 years. After playing 12 years,
And?
he was out the league for a reason. I
And
don't know if you noticed, but the average pro career is 4 years. That's 3 times.
it's even
what
well,
the
it's even
what
shorter
the
in
average
the
pro
NFL.
career is.
It's even shorter
Guys
in the
don't
NFL.
play. Guys don't play 17, 18 years
It's
on the
3 years in
regular.
the
That's
NFL.
not what happens.
I mean,
So-
I'm Mark. We're just bringing up random
the
facts.
point.
So I mean, I don't know. I mean, blue whales are the biggest mammals in the ocean. Like, what do you want me to do with that?
The
What's that
point
got to do with
the
this
reason
conversation?
why I brought that up is because you said there's a reason why he was out the league. In year 12, he had already played 12 years at that point. It wasn't like he got.
I wish your guy would have been out the league before then.
Fellas,
Oh, I agree with that. I agree with that.
I'm going to step in right now, momentarily, and just tell everybody in the chat, like the video, subscribe, become a member. And we love to have you guys here at Player's Choice. Thank you for joining the chat. You guys know that the chat clears. And it's really as simple as that. That's it, and that's all. We are now going to we're not gonna get off this topic. We're just gonna turn the page. And we're gonna get into why this is a relevant topic. Because Nick Young, Swaggy P, said, and I quote, that KG is better than Tim Duncan. And if you put Garnett on the Spurs, they would have the same success. Just because you have accomplishments and championships doesn't always mean you are better than that person. And you know what? Let me just go ahead and put it on the screen. Let me know if you guys can't hear this. This is what Swaggy P had to say on Gil's Arena. Shout out.
Duncan had more individual and team success than KG during their NBA careers, but just rolling the ball out, do you think KG was a better player than Tim Duncan?
Yes.
And why do you feel that way?
Tim was great, but I feel like just because you got accomplishments and championships don't always mean you're better than that person. To me, I feel like his team was better than the Timberwolves. That's why. But if you put KG on that team, I think he had the same amount of rings.
If you put KG on that team, they don't miss a beat.
Yeah.
But I think if you put Tim with the Minnesota team, he get them out of the first round and shit like that.
Ooh. We know if Garnett was in that system,
Oh my God.
he would have been the greatest power forward of all time.
Everybody just say
that.
Tim.
Duncan had more individual and team success than
Kevin Garnett was clearly a better passer than Karl Malone. I'm sorry, I don't know where that came from.
Oh, we're going back to that? Oh, okay.
I think those were some fair assessments by the guys up there. Like I think KG does the same thing Tim does in San Antonio, but I also do think Tim might go a little further in Minnesota than KG did. I think Tim Duncan's better. I think Tim Duncan clears as the GOAT power forward. But that's with all due respect to KG. I think KG holding down that second spot. And Malone I think Malone is third. But
Big up.
fair assessment.
I believe this is heavily relying on revisionist history.
Revisionist history.
I sincerely believe if the roles were flipped, we will be talking about Kevin Garnett the same way we talk about Tim Duncan, and we will be talking about Tim Duncan the way that we talk about Kevin. That's basically what he just said. That's what I'm saying too. I'm saying like if the roles were reversed, it would be the same. Like KG and Tim Duncan were really close as far as skill set and who's actually better. Just roll the ball out there. I think they're very close. In fact, I probably would give KG the slight edge if it's just roll them out. But since it's not that way, and since we saw their careers, I think Tim Duncan got it. You know what I mean? All right. So I feel you with that. My thing is, I just hate to say that Tim Duncan clears. I absolutely don't believe he clears. Now, if we're talking about winning and all of that, Tim Duncan clears. If we're talking about basketball, like playing, he doesn't.
He might not clear, but I think he still got it though.
I think Duncan's the best.
Just because of just what we've seen. Like I know I said like if you roll it out and just be like 1-on-1, I think KG got it as far as that goes. Like just like 1-on-1 basketball, KG versus Tim Duncan. I think KG got it. He's a little quicker. You know what I'm saying? Got a little bit more, but I mean, you're not gonna get me to say any power forward is better than Tim Duncan. Like I just can't. Those words can't come out my mouth, bro. I saw what I saw.
I hear you. Morris, would you like to chime in on this?
I think like I agree with what they said, but disagree with what they said. Like I think some of the things they said I agree with, some of it I don't agree with. I think the case can be made that KG was better. I go back and forth all the time with like how I just feel about what I value on a certain day. So I think it's close. I don't think one clears the other. But I also don't think KG would have as many rings as Duncan would on the Spurs. So I don't think that. But I don't think that's the measure of who the better player is based on who would win more rings in that situation. I think it just calls for certain skill sets I think Duncan had and KG didn't. I don't think that makes him better. I think it just made him better for that situation. But I do understand what they're saying about in terms of like just winning more or being in that situation to win more doesn't mean you're the better player. I think Tim Duncan has attributes that give him the argument over KG as the better player, and I think KG has attributes that give him the argument over Duncan. Right now, I'm on the side of I'd rather have Duncan, but give me like a week. I could probably change my mind on who I'd rather have. I don't think it's a big gap at all. I think saying it's a big gap, I do think there is probably a hint of like, I can't call it accolade bias or achievement bias. Like, I mean, he achieved what he achieved. I don't want to say that you can't value those things, but I do think the reason people think it's as clear as a gap as they do, I do think is because of the things Duncan achieved or KG didn't achieve. But I still am going with Tim Duncan in that sense. Just I think he is the better player, slightly, but I think he's the better player.
Is it crazy to say that with Garnett, they actually win more rings?
You've said that many times. I'm used to you saying
in San Antonio.
I've actually, this is the first time I've ever said that.
Well, no, you said they win the same amount. You said they win at least the same amount.
Is it crazy to say that they win more?
What year changes?
Well, I'm gonna say everything from 2007 to 2014.
We have to get there though. That's the difference.
Well, 2007 to 14, Garnett was also tailing off as well, just as Tim Duncan was.
No, see, this is a big misconception. Aside from what it was 2010 where he got injured, or 2011?
9. Well, he tore his meniscus in 09, but he came back. So what are we talking about? Like another injury?
No. We're talking about that one.
The meniscus in 09.
Yeah. So in 09, how was it a big fall off when he came back from 09?
You could see he wasn't the same, but he was
slowing down at that point.
Yeah.
He was probably the best power forward in the game. Maybe him or Dirk.
Still?
Probably.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying. In Mars, you alluded to this. In Tim Duncan, during that stretch, he started to, tail off. Kevin Garnett in 2007, he was still Kevin Garnett. In 2008, Defensive Player of the Year. Potentially Finals MVP.
So in 2011.
Yeah, but by the time he got to the next year, though, that was like his last elite season, though.
And in 2011,
what year was his last elite season?
In 2010, we literally just said he was probably the best power forward in the NBA.
Yeah.
What year is Swiper saying was his last elite season?
I mean, last KG season,
his last KG season was the year he tore his meniscus.
That's what I'm saying. But
that was in 08, 09.
But he was still
Kevin Garnett. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
That was 08, 09.
But he was still elite after that. Till he went to Brooklyn.
4 more years.
Yeah.
He was still making all-star teams and things like that. And Tim Duncan, I think he was in 2011. I think that was year 14 for Duncan. I think we're going in year 14 for Duncan. I just, like you said, the same amount of rings. Ron, we got to get there. So in year 2, so Kevin Garnett in year 2, he's on that San Antonio team.
Oh, they would have worked New York.
One more time.
I think KG would have worked New York.
At 19 years old.
I think he would have worked.
Chill, no. See, this is why we have this conversation, and you do this every
That's who he is.
time.
He's 19 years old.
He would not have been 19. When was KG drafted?
95, 96.
How old was he when he was drafted?
18.
Mm-hmm.
So what year did they go to the championship?
We don't get to the NBA Finals at that point.
What?
Wait, why? Oh, because you're talking about David Robinson?
Yes.
Well, I think he's assuming that David Robinson is on the already on the team when it's the same scenario.
If he was drafted to the Spurs, he would have got there in 95, 96. We don't just change the timeline and say he all of a sudden gets there the year that Tim Duncan got there. I'm saying if he was drafted
the
to the
idea.
Spurs,
no, that's not how. I think he's just saying if you drop him that season.
No, he's just saying KG gets drafted to the Spurs instead of the Timberwolves. So in 95, he gets drafted to the Spurs. That's what he said.
He has the same career.
Hey, bro. Vinny Del Negro with Avery Johnson and Kevin Garnett and Dave Robinson would have been lights out, chill.
Yeah, they would have did the same exact thing that year.
David Robinson, Sean Elliott,
yep.
Avery Johnson,
yep.
Chuck Person,
yep.
And then now we're moving toward like 98, 99. So now that's year 4 now for That's
20.
we're in year.
That's 21.
We're in year 4 now.
21, 10, 2 and 2. Kevin Garnett.
In year 4 in 1998-99.
Yeah,
that doesn't.
Defensive Player of the Year, damn near.
If I'm comparing, and the crew is very much the same, but David Robinson isn't the same. David Robinson he's got a bad back at that point in 1999, but he's still awesome.
Good enough, chill. Yeah.
Avery Johnson is, I think he's in, like year 11 at that point. That's a vet-laden unit. Where I got screwed up is I'm thinking we're talking about putting an 18-year-old Tim Duncan, we're putting an 18-year-old Kevin Garnett on the San Antonio Spurs in 1997 when Tim Duncan got to the Spurs. I ain't talking about in 1995 when he first showed up in the league. No, I'm talking about when Tim Duncan got on that San Antonio Spurs unit in 1997, as opposed to Kevin Garnett. We're going to take 18-year-old Kevin Garnett and we're going to put him on that crew with a bunch of vets. And the next year, they're in the NBA championship with a 19-year-old Kevin Garnett. That's what we're doing. That's what I thought we were doing.
No, I'm because I'm not.
That's the point.
I can't change their ages in a year. Chill. They're both the same age. You just swap the situations.
Duncan didn't get on the Spurs in 95. He didn't.
In 95, he was at Wake Forest.
Right.
I'm saying
he was still in school.
Yeah.
And he was the best 5 man in the country. The best 5 man in the country. So now what we do is we move 2 years later when I'm the best player in the country. And now I'm coming into the NBA as the best player in the country. And I'm older. I'm a 22-year-old adult. And I'm getting on the crew with a bunch of other adults. As opposed to 1997, we're going to take 18-year-old Kevin Garnett and we're going to put him on that San Antonio Spurs unit, an 18-year-old kid with a bunch of 30-year-olds.
Chill.
And we're going to get the same result in 4 years.
Nobody's arguing that an 18-year-old Kevin Garnett will be able to do what a 22-year-old Tim Duncan would do. That's not the argument. I think you're making a fair point. He would not be able to carry the way Tim Duncan was. What I'm arguing is that at that same time when Kevin Garnett was 22, during that same exact year, the same age as Tim Duncan, I'm arguing that Kevin Garnett, 22-year-old version of Kevin Garnett, would do literally the same exact thing that 22-year-old Tim Duncan did. It might not look exactly the same. It might not feel exactly the same, but we would get the same result next to a veteran and one of the all-time greats, David Robinson, next to a Hall of Fame coach, Greg Popovich, and all the other pieces that they had on that team. They win the championship that year. And I'm saying from that moment on to when KG retired, same year as Tim Duncan, they would do the same thing, if not more. And the point I'm trying to get to is, and Mars had alluded to it the other day, Tim Duncan tapered off after what, the 4th ring? He had a stretch where it was like, Kevin Garnett was still Kevin Garnett. Like, obviously, he started regressing, but Kevin Garnett was just better during them years. So, chill, you're saying you have to get there. Kevin Garnett was getting there with the Celtics. You put him on the Spurs, they get there. I think Kevin Garnett on the Spurs during that time, they're better than those Lakers teams.
So Kevin Garnett in 1998-99. I just want to make sure I'm following you guys. Kevin Garnett in 1998-99. That's 22-year-old Garnett who wasn't playing. He wasn't the defender that Garnett that Duncan was yet. He was getting there. He wasn't the defender that Duncan was yet. He wasn't there yet. And you can't say that he was, because he was not there yet. Duncan was a top 5 defender in the game in 1998. That's a 1999. That's not my opinion.
What was KG?
I think KG was arguably a top 5. He definitely was in the top 10. I don't think he was supplanted as a top 5 defender at that time. I don't think that was going on. But I do think that he was supplanted in the NBA as arguably a top 10 defender. Duncan, on the other hand, I think Duncan was an all-league defender as a rookie. Yeah, so with him being an all-league defender as a rookie, so now you want to move that to the next year where he's also playing at again a top 10, a top 5 level as a defender. I think in 98-99, I think he finished 2nd or 3rd in Defensive Player of the Year that year, something like that. And again, my stance is that crew that he's on in 1999 as a 22-year-old, 23-year-old, which is vet laden. So David Robinson, Avery Johnson, Sean Elliott, Mario Ellie, Jaren Jackson, all of these guys that are on this crew at this point, how they take to Tim Duncan and how much better he is clearly at that point than David Robinson. And when I say clearly, I mean he's younger, he's more athletic at that point. David Robinson has clearly slowed down. He's a better rebounder, better rim protector. So they actually turn to him more. I'm having a difficult time with the logic that they're going to turn to Kevin Garnett. And again, I'm not seeing him like you see him, Ron, where he gets on the crew in 95. I'm seeing him where he gets on he comes in the league at 18 years old and he gets on that crew in 1997, 98. That's how I'm seeing him. I'm not seeing him 4 years later when he comes on the crew in 1995. No, that's not the way I see him. I see him completely different than that. When he came into the league in 95, he was 18 years old. When Duncan came into the league in 97, and we're comparing the two, if you put him on that San Antonio Spurs team I got on in 1997, they were a lottery team. Because guys got hurt. Duncan got there. They make the playoffs the next year. And a lot of that had to do with Duncan. He was first team All-NBA. And then the next year, they win the NBA championship. If I take an 18-year-old Kevin Garnett and I put him on that 1997-98 San Antonio Spurs team, do they make the playoffs next year with that crew? And do they win the NBA championship the very next year at 19, 20 years old?
You talking about rookie?
That's what I'm talking about. Because that's
but he wasn't.
You guys are debating two different hypotheticals.
Yeah, and on top of that, that's also not fair to Kevin Garnett, because Duncan had years worth of college experience that he got through in order to get to the league. KG didn't have that. He was a fresh child. What was he, 17 or 18 rather when he got drafted, turned 19 or whatever?
Swiper.
But I'm saying like
that's the point.
Then you can't compare the two coming into the NBA. The body wasn't even developed.
Right.
So I'm saying same age. If the same situation, if you got drafted in 95, got his college years out in the NBA, and then by the time you get to 99 when they played in the NBA finals, that's what I'm saying. That's what people are arguing. Like, can he? I didn't make this debate anyway. I don't know. I can't answer that. I don't know.
Their numbers are. If you think about their peak years, their numbers are pretty similar. I think, like I told you guys, Garnett, I think he had a peak of 20. I think he was 23 and 13 for 4 years. Tim Duncan was 22 and 12. He had those was his peak seasons. Now it doesn't really sound like much, but I feel like the versatility from Tim Duncan kind of separates him from Garnett, because he was able to move to a different position and still be elite, as opposed to Duncan primarily played the 4. And with him playing the 4, I mean, don't get me wrong, he was elite at the 4, but Duncan being able to move to the 5, and the chameleon that Duncan was, where I can do whatever it is that you need me to do. You need me to get buckets, I'm a bucket getter. You need me to be just a defender, I can be a defender. That was proven in 2007 when they won the NBA championship, when he moved to the 5 and he became more of a defender and less of a scorer. And Tony Parker got 2007 when Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Bruce Bowen, those guys, they started to become more of offensive players. So I feel like Duncan was more of a chameleon. I feel like Duncan was able to be more versatile in both of those positions. And in the process of him doing that, I think he was better.
But see, this is what I'm saying, though. This is why I feel like we underrate KG. KG did the same thing.
When did KG move to the 5?
No, I'm not talking about that. KG wouldn't have been able to move to the 5 as swiftly as Tim Duncan did. He wasn't as big as Tim Duncan. He wasn't as strong as Tim Duncan. I'm not arguing that. No, sure. But the second part that you said about being a chameleon, changing roles and stuff like that, KG literally did that. He went from averaging 22 and 12. Mars, did you not make this point just a couple weeks ago? I mean, not a couple weeks ago, last week, about Allen Iverson.
Oh,
when he went to a different team and
scoring less doesn't mean you're not capable of still doing more. But you have to adapt
exactly.
To a different
so
way.
Kevin Garnett went from averaging 22 and 12 to averaging 18 and 9 from 2007 to 2008. I think we all know that Kevin Garnett could have averaged 22 and 12 again. If not, it would have been around that same ballpark. He didn't just all of a sudden wake up and be 4 points worse and 3 rebounds worse. He also, too, Doc Rivers played him less minutes. He went from playing 39 minutes a game to 32 minutes a game. So his numbers probably would have either been better or went up. The point I'm trying to make is he made that same sacrifice. He was letting Ray Allen get shots. He was letting Rondo run the point. He was letting Paul Pierce be Paul Pierce. Kevin Garnett made that same sacrifice. He was a chameleon too. The same thing that you guys give Tim Duncan credit for. Kevin Garnett was that same guy. And I believe in the Spurs system, he would have been that same guy. I don't like that's not you play when you're playing with winners, you make sacrifices because you want to win. Kevin Garnett was a guy that was for the team. Kevin Garnett wasn't no for self guy. He wasn't a selfish guy. Kevin Garnett wasn't, I'm the franchise, I'm the system, give me the ball, we're doing
I don't think he was neither, Ron. I don't know. I'm not arguing that neither. I do not think that Kevin Garnett was a selfish guy. I do think that Kevin Garnett was a chameleon. I just think that Duncan was more of that. I just think Duncan
KG did move to the 5 when Kendrick Perkins left, to be fair.
That was in like what 2011, I think, 2010, 2011.
Yeah, 11, yeah.
Yeah, 2011, he did move to the 5.
And he started his career as a small forward, so technically he played all 3.
How long did he play? I think he played 2 years at the 3.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, because Gugliotta played the 4, and then he moved to the 4. I think in 98. But I feel like those. I mean, you bringing that up, Mars, is a fair assessment, but I also think that it's a small sample size. I mean, Duncan played the 4 for 10 years. He played the 5 for 9 years. So to play the small forward for 2 years, and then to play the 5 for another 2, but the majority of your career you're playing the 4. I mean, I don't think that's a large enough sample size for me to determine that you are as versatile as the other guy.
Oh, I can go with that.
That's also the thing too. Like, obviously, like versatility is valued, and I'm not taking anything away from versatility. But I do also want to acknowledge that the Spurs front office is one of the most competent front offices that the NBA has ever seen. I'm pretty sure they would put the pieces around Kevin Garnett to make him fit in the role that he's in, whether that's just strictly power forward or whether that's moving him to small forward or moving him to center. However, they will put the pieces around Kevin Garnett to make him as successful as possible. So if Kevin Garnett has to play power forward throughout his whole tenure with the Spurs, and I'm saying this, him getting drafted in 95 and playing all the way through till when he retired, they would have a competent center there every single year next to Kevin Garnett. It would have started with David Robinson, and once he retired, they would have every single year had competent centers, backup power forwards, a good small forward, however it was, they would have been able to put the right pieces around it.
I just struggle with, and I don't want to be a contrarian here. I'm not saying that, but I just struggle with that time, Ron. And when I think about that time, kids weren't popular. So 18, 19-year-old kids. Bryant is an example of that, where Bryant had to change his game, and he was coming off the bench. Let's see, who else am I thinking about? Al Harrington. Like, kids weren't really sought after. It was an adult league, and it was a lot of grown-ups. So when I think about Tim Duncan, when I think about Garnett playing with the San Antonio Spurs at that time, I won't argue their competence, but I just feel like I'm not sure how much they would have valued him as a kid, as opposed to I'm not sure how much they would have valued, because I like to think that the Lakers are a very competent organization. I don't think they valued Bryant as much as a kid as they should have. That's why they had to get Dale Harris at it. I don't think they valued him nearly as much.
I mean, even KG didn't start the first half of his rookie year, but like he made it where you had to start him. He was just that good.
100%. I won't argue that his game was good enough where he can't be on the bench. 100%. But I think the transition was a little bit different when you're talking about kids taking over the league and being more valuable and being more a part of the offense as opposed to just grown-ups. You know, Tim Duncan was the traditional big man who went to school, played 4 years, came out of college. This is how you build your unit. You don't build your unit around an 18-year-old. You don't build your unit around a 19-year-old. And I don't think that the league had warmed up to that yet. So the idea that the San Antonio Spurs are a competent organization, I won't argue that. But what I do have an issue with is how they would treat Tim Duncan, not treat Kevin Garnett as an 18 and 19-year-old. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and obviously this is a hypothetical.
Sure.
But I'm saying, like, Kevin Garnett getting drafted to the Spurs in the same year he was drafted, I feel like that actually helps him more. Think about it. 95, you get drafted to the Spurs. Who's on that unit?
Avery Johnson was on that unit. Sean Elliott was on that unit. David Robinson was on that unit.
There you go. The elephant in the room. David Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
In 95, what's David Robinson looking like?
He won the league MVP that year.
Yeah, so he's coming off the MVP year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you put Kevin Garnett in the same room with him for 82 games in a whole season, and he gets to literally be a sponge next to David Robinson.
Well, he got hurt the next year. David Robinson didn't play the 95. That's how they got the number 1 overall pick. because he got
no,
and
for
that's
sure.
because he ended up getting hurt. Not
For
that
sure.
I'm sorry, that's not true, Ron. He did play the 95-96 season. The 96
It was
97
the
season.
next year.
He got hurt. I got that one wrong. My fault. So that's Garnett, I think, in year 2. Yeah, I think that's Garnett in year 2, when now Garnett has to be more of the focal point of what's going on, as opposed to Duncan, who, when he gets David Robinson after coming off that back injury, I'm not going to say he's a shell of himself, but he's not what he used to be.
Still pretty damn good.
Still pretty good. I won't argue that, but he wasn't what he used to be.
Sure, you fight that?
Fighting
that Kevin Garnett with David Robinson and just those verbs with the Spets with the Spurs in his early part of his career, you don't think that makes him better?
It depends on how he gets treated, man. Because like I said, Ron, my stance on during that time was high school kids being kids and coming out in the NBA playing with adults. At that time, it wasn't valued. And I don't know how the San Antonio Spurs would have treated, even though coming out of high school, playing with that Minnesota Timberwolves organization, they had to play him. And Mars, largely due to the fact that they were garbage. If we're going to be honest about Minnesota.
Absolutely.
So they had to play him. San Antonio wasn't garbage. So with Garnett getting on that crew, they might have brought him along a lot slower, which could have hampered him. I think him playing in Minnesota, playing on that bad team, playing immediately, I think that helped him. I'm not sure that would have happened in San Antonio, considering what they had. Even though Garnett made you have to play him. I'm not saying that part, but I don't know how much they would have played him.
So what about it didn't alter Tony Parker? He stepped in immediately and was playing.
And early on in his career, when he was with this is the same Tony Parker that they were talking about moving off of after year 3. They were talking about moving off.
Chill. This is revisionist history.
That's what was going on.
Okay, but they didn't move off of him.
They didn't, but this is what they were talking about. They were talking about moving off of him. That was going on. That wasn't something that I'm making up here. That was happening.
So he came in the league in 2001. He started 72 or 77 games.
Mm-hmm. Last pick in the first round. And Pop stayed on his case. Pop was on him on the regular.
But at 19 years old, so you just said Kevin Garnett wouldn't have started at 18. They draft Tony Parker from Lord knows where in France, out of nowhere. They pull him out of nowhere, bring him into the league at 19 years old, and he starts. So you're saying that they'll bring in Tony Parker and start him 72 or 77 games, but they wouldn't do the same thing for Kevin Garnett.
I'm not sure
because it was a grown man's league.
No, coincidentally, they were both 19. Their rookie years, not 18.
Coincidentally,
I just realized they're 2 days apart in terms of birthdays. Interesting. So yeah, they're pretty much the same age. I took the liberty of looking up Tim Duncan and KG's VORPs each year.
The VORP. Let's get the VORP up, Mars.
So I'm gonna go through year by year until they become washed. In Duncan's rookie year, he ranked 7th in the NBA in VORP at 5.3. KG was 8th at 5.0.
Hold on.
So
this
right
is
around the same.
What year is this?
97-98. Duncan's rookie year. So they were practically neck and neck. Yeah, I mean they were basically the same age because they came in.
Is Duncan the best rookie ever?
No.
Kareem,
No. Hold on, wait. Let's
Kareem,
leave the 80s out of this. Leave that anything but before the 3.9? Yeah, but before 90s and on.
Oh, 90s and on? Yeah, I think so.
Is Duncan the best rookie ever? Since 1990, is Duncan the best rookie ever?
Yeah, I think he's better than Shaq. I think he's better than Shaq's the only one I'm really thinking of that competes. Yeah, I got Duncan. I mean, David Robinson's rookie year was in the night. It was in 1990, right?
89.
Okay.
89, 90.
Oh, 89, 90. I mean, I would argue him, but he was like 65 as a rookie, so. Do with that what you will, but yeah, I think it's Duncan. The next year, the 99 championship year, KG was ahead of Duncan, 3.3 to 3.2. So once again, neck and neck at one spot apart.
Right.
They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. KG's 9, Duncan's 10. Coincidentally, David Robinson was above Tim Duncan on his own team. At 3.4. So shout out to David Robinson. I'm trying to tell people that 99 David Robinson was still really, really good. The next year, 2000s, KG ranks number 4. Duncan was number 7. This is the largest gap we've seen so far in terms of placement and overall VORP, 6.8 to 5.5. 2000, I think 2000 is a year Duncan was hurt though, so VORP is a cumulative stat. That's why his VORP is lower. 2001, when they're both healthy, KG is 4, Duncan is, I think that's 11. 6.4 to 5.4. Duncan was actually below Steve Francis. 2002.
Shout out franchise.
2002, Duncan was number 1 in the league. KG was number 2.
That was his MVP. Yep.
Duncan was number 1 in the league. KG was number 2. 8.0 to 7.1. Pretty large gap. 03, number 1 in the league was Tracy McGrady, but KG was number 2 and Tim Duncan was number 4. Big gap between them again, 8.7 to 7.7. Shout out to T-Mac leading the league at 9.3. Tracy McGrady was like that.
Wait, Mars. So when it comes to VORP, just 1 point is really big. 8.7 to
8.7 to 7.7 is a big gap. Yeah,
it's big in VORP. Okay,
yeah.
For sure. Okay.
Right quick, Mars. Can you let us know like what's the tiers of VORP? What's an elite level of VORP? And then what's like a very good level and what's a all right level?
10 VORP.
An all-time VORP.
Say it,
season.
Mars.
Oh, you want?
No. I ain't said nothing. Just
am I gonna have to bring up Jokic for Swiper? Am I gonna have to bring up Jokic?
I'm just saying, who's led the league in VORP by a significant margin the last?
Pen, if you're watching, I'll send you the link.
Yeah, I mean, Pen would be perfect for this. All-time VORP seasons are like plus 8, 9, 10. 10 plus is like all-time levels.
Right.
For anyone wondering, Joker was above 10 plus VORP this past season. But yeah, 10 is like ridiculous VORP. So far, we haven't seen a 10 VORP in the tallies I'm doing so far from 98 so far.
Wow, Duncan and Garnett never got the 10. Wow.
Oh wait, 2004.
Kevin Garnett.
KG hits 10.
He did.
KG hits 10. He leads the league in VORP at a 10.0 VORP.
MVP that year.
Any guesses on who was number 2 in the league in VORP in 2004?
It wasn't Duncan, I can tell you that.
Hold on, I need everybody to take a guess. Everybody.
Any guesses on who was number 2 in the league in VORP?
Steve Nash.
No.
No way. Oh, I was about to say.
No.
2004? Jason Kidd.
No.
Oh, that's what I was gonna go to too. I was gonna go with Jake.
Not Shaq. It's not Shaq.
No.
Gotta be Max.
Wait, was it who?
No.
Who'd you say?
No. T-Mac was 4th. T-Mac was 4th. No.
Well, hold on.
It was Chris Webber.
No, you guys aren't gonna guess.
What year?
It's a wild name. 2004.
2004.
Robert Ory.
Okay, you're on.
We gotta keep going until we guess it.
Yeah. Oh, you guys aren't gonna get it.
Was it Melo?
You guys aren't gonna get it. No. Ricky Melo.
I'm sure. I don't know.
No. You gotta think more obscure.
Like Robert Ory, somebody like that.
Less obscure than that, but
Chauncey
more
Billups?
obscure. You're not close, but like you're closer than like
Rasheed.
Oh no. It was my man, Ron. You know, I can't think of his name. You know, the one that almost beat you up in Vegas. My man, you know what I'm talking about. Dre Miller. It was Andre Miller.
No, but it's not a point guard. No.
Bro, you almost got to fight with Andre Miller?
Yeah, we need that story. Yeah, we need that story.
Andre Miller, you know these old niggas be tripping. I was trying to give him a compliment.
Who could it be? Who is it? Peja?
No, but you're getting warmer.
It wasn't Dirk. It wasn't Dirk.
No, he's not American, so
Mike
that's
Miller?
why I said he's getting warmer. He's not.
Andre Karolinko?
Yes, Andre Karolinko.
AK-47.
Andre Karolinko was second in the league in VORP in 2000.
Where was Peja?
Peja was fifth. So Ox gave good guesses because he had T-Mac. He gets T-Mac, who was 4th. He gets Peja, who was 5th, and then Karolinko was obviously 2nd. Shout out to T-Mac coming 4th in VORP on a team that won 20 games, by the way.
But yeah, from 1st in VORP to 4th in VORP.
Yeah. So KG with a 10.0 VORP season. That's an all-time great season. Tim Duncan was at 6.7. So major gap in VORP. 2005. So far, KG's been above Duncan more than the reverse, and the gap has been larger for KG. In 2005, KG was number 1 in the league again in VORP. Number 2 was second year LeBron James. Shout out to KG.
What was his VORP though at number 1 this time?
9.1. So still all-time.
Yo, KG might just be the GOAT.
Yeah, 2005, Duncan was only at a 5.4 VORP. Only at a 5.4. So
let me ask you this, Mars. Was VORP tracked at this time, or somebody went back and did this?
The VORP, I don't know if they used it, but I think the VORP stat was created post this era. I think I can't. Someone. I don't know the history of VORP. They might have been around, but I don't know people using it. But KG was number 1 in the league. Tim Duncan was around 6. Once again, Tracy McGrady at 4 in the league. Shout out to him. Very underrated player.
Put some respect on T-Mac.
2006, number 1 in the league in VORP was LeBron, 9.4. KG was number 4 in the league. And then we find Tim Duncan
into the league like,
yeah.
look.
Yeah, 2000. Yeah, he came into the league year 2. He was joint first in VORP with KG. Kobe was number 2. Kobe was number 2. This is 35 point per game season. KG was number 4, 7.4 VORP. And then we go down and we find Tim Duncan at 4.9. He's below Chris Paul, who I think was a rookie. I think.
05, 06 was
yeah, he's behind Chris Paul, he's behind Sean Marion, he's behind Andre Karolinko, Pau Gasol, Gilbert Arenas, Elton Brand. Duncan's down there. He's tied with Ray Allen in VORP. 07, we have this is championship Spurs year. LeBron led the league again. Tim Duncan goes up to 3rd in the league. 6.2, KG's 5th.
Where was Kobe in all this?
Kobe was 4th this year. He was 2nd in 06. 08, we have I'm gonna stop once we get to like 2010 or something. 08, LeBron again, 9.8. Chris Paul was 2nd, 9.3. Large gap between the top 2 and the rest of the league. 3rd place was at 6.3. So Chris Paul and LeBron really.
Who was that?
Kobe. They really gapped the field in terms of what. KG was 5th, 6.0. And then Tim Duncan was at 4.8 behind Andre Iguodala in VORP. And then 2009, this is torn meniscus KG, so his VORP is going to be lower because of missed games. So LeBron, this is an all-time season. LeBron's
11?
VORP. Yes, I think so. LeBron's VORP was 11.8.
God damn.
11.8. So do with that what you will. 11.8. Chris Paul, once again, very underrated peak. 9.9 VORP in 2009. Tim Duncan had a 4.7. And then you got to go all the way down to find KG at 3.5 because he only played 57 games, unfortunately. And then the final year I'm going to do is 2010, where LeBron had a 10.3 again. 3rd year, Kevin Durant was 3rd in the league. Tim Duncan had a 5.0 VORP. He ranked number 5. And KG, this is off the torn meniscus, is all the way down at 31 with a 2.9 VORP. So for a long time, KG was just destroying Duncan in VORP. Post meniscus, Duncan closed the gap. But from Duncan's rookie year to 2008, he was only ahead of KG in VORP twice, I think. And Duncan cleared him. So if you care about VORP, KG was better. So do with that what you will.
More so win shares per 48 myself if I'm doing stuff like that. But
win shares per 48, yes.
You just measured how much you impact winning every 48 minutes of gameplay.
And how do you come up with that? What's the formula for that?
The formula for win shares per 48?
Yeah, win shares per 48.
It is verbatim. It says an estimate of the number of wins contributed by player per 48 minutes, league average per 100. And then if you go all the way down to the grid at the bottom, if I can find it for you without wasting too much time. Where's the icon list?
Well, that's more of a definition, Swiper. I want to know what's
no, because the stat is going to be
I'm trying to get to the
release.
Actual
well, win shares per 48 between Tim Duncan and KG, the highest season between the two of them, if I can find it, is 04 KG. His best season is higher than Tim Duncan's best win shares per 48. He's at 0.2723. That's the 49th ranked mark of all time.
Here we go.
So neither are really doing much.
So a win share is a measure assigned to players based on their offense, defense, and playing time. Win shares per 48, implemented by Justin Kubato. He's actually does a lot of stats on Twitter and all that stuff. A win share is worth 1/3 of a team win. If a team wins 60 games, there are 180 win shares to distribute. So basically based on your defensive and offensive contribution in the minutes that you have played over the course of that game. And an all-time great win share.
So Swiper, if there's one game and we win it, then only 3 people on the team can get a win share for that game?
There's a third. So it's a third of, you get a win share is worth 1/3 of a team win. So you everybody gets win shares. It's just how much you contribute to winning while you're on the court. And it measures,
so how do we determine how much you contribute to winning?
Win share.
that's where you get into
win share calculation. What is a win share? How do I say this in a way that's not super duper long?
You can't.
Well, offensive win share is credited to a player based on offensive possessions, the formula detail, so blah blah blah. It's bringing up LeBron.
Right,
and
but
a bunch
it's
of
a
names.
basketball show. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, he's asking for an explanation.
No, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The calculation is a bunch of weird brackets and
marginal.
That's fine. Well, not swipe. What Ron was saying is basically we got time today.
Yeah, like let's talk about it.
We're not gonna understand what it says.
Well, it's.
Well,
I won't. No. Let me not say that.
We might understand it.
Yeah, I don't think you can. You know,
Mars,
I don't want to.
Mars, I just look like this, brother.
I'm
here with you, brother. I'm here with you.
I don't want to diminish people's
Mars, were you
intelligence.
talking about Ox or were you talking about the chat? Or were you talking about me?
I was talking about myself.
Oh, okay.
What the hell?
For sure.
I'm gonna stick to Walt, man. That's what I'm gonna do.
So you mean to tell me it's only 3 people on the Players' Choice channel that understand win shares?
Man,
Swiper, Gifted,
I think you could,
and Dion?
No, I don't think that's true.
You can understand it, but man, we couldn't calculate that ourselves. So how much?
Right. Well, I want to know too about this guy that made up this stat. What is his qualifications and his hoop experience?
I think he's the same guy who made usage rate. I think.
Well,
usage rate. Okay.
I think he's the same guy who made usage rate. Well, he made a version of usage rate.
Is he a coach, just a basketball enthusiast, or?
And you said his name is Kobayashi, right?
No,
Justin Kobatko.
No, that's win shares for 48. That originated from Bill James. Bill James was a basketball writer and historian and a statistician that came up with win shares to help people to understand like how metrics, how basically any act. So this is, I think, that's actually a really good portion of the discussion here. Just to summarize it, analytics, all it is a mathematical approximation for how do you measure how impactful a player is on the court while they're on the court or while they're off the court. Analytics is the same thing as when you do on-off, net rating, offensive win shares, defensive win shares, BPM, PER, all of these things and I think this is where the confusion gets from. I think the formulas are more so the issues people run into because it's just how do you develop a formula that attributes success to all this? But I will say the reason why we know the formula works is because the best players of all time are the ones that are at the top of all the analytics. That's where you get.
They lost me when they changed the formula because Russell Westbrook broke VORP and BPM.
Well, they had to. Well, guards hadn't had rebound rates like that ever. So,
yeah, that's when they lost me. When they Russ was so far ahead of everyone, they changed the formula so that he ended up 21st.
So they hated on refs.
Yeah, they was like, yeah, this is wrong. Russ isn't the best player ever, so let's change the formula. That's literally what happened. So I was like, when that happened,
this is not correct right now. Hold on.
Okay. When that happened, I was like,
I mean, Morris, that makes sense. When you use your eye test, you can see that there's some nonsense going on. You got to revise it. Like,
wait a minute.
That's bullshit. That's straight bullshit. As a matter of fact, I'll put it in layman's terms so you can understand. That's ox crap. Okay. Hey, look, chill. Will Chamberlain changed the game, right?
Yes, he did.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar changed the game, right?
He did.
Steph Curry changed the game, right?
They did.
Why can't Russell Westbrook change VORP?
Well, he did change VORP. He factually did.
That's what I'm saying. So why can't we give him his credit?
I mean, I think that's a testament to him because his VORP now, like, welcome back. Since they changed the formula, his VORP now for that season is 9.26. I think with the old formula, I think his VORP was like 15.
Well, but again, so this is where some of this stuff with analytics gets people upset because I think to that point they had to adjust because otherwise Russell Westbrook has the greatest season of all time. But we also know, based on how things work, that a rebound, especially an offensive rebound for a guard, is typically weighted heavier because of the positional value. On the other end of this, Jokic passing is what puts him in these all-time great discussions because a center creating an assist or a point is a much different conversation than a guard creating a point because of the way that you get those baskets. So that's why Jokic is so high on all this stuff because he's an elite scorer, an elite rebounder, and he's an elite passer. So that's why where you get all of that stuff where he's like all-time BPM, all-time PER, all this stuff. But guess who else is up there? He just didn't have any games. Joel Embiid. Once Joel Embiid cracks enough games, which is like, I think like 680 games or something. I can't remember what the exact numbers. He's going to have the highest PER in NBA history.
So
And
hold on,
deservedly so.
Right quick, Swiper. So are you saying that big men get credited more for assists
1,000%.
because they're big men?
Yes.
And guards get credited or used to get credited more for rebounds because
But why? Wait,
They
my bad.
still
I
do.
might real quick. My bad. Go back a second. So is it still that way? Because I don't
Yes.
believe that. I don't like that. I don't think big should be more credited.
That's what I'm saying. I think the fact that they changed
passing.
the
I don't
fact-
know.
no,
People say real quick though,
No,
because
I'm
it's
not
like
saying
people act like a big man shooting is more like mind blowing than guard shooting. When scientifically, it's easier to shoot the ball when you're taller than it is when you're shorter. There's certain things in basketball. These myths need to be debunked. Passing isn't something that you do better when you're smaller. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just factually just not right. It shouldn't be that way.
The issue is
shooting's more valuable if you're bigger.
Yeah, so the issue is
but why though, Mars? Because scientifically
you take the big away from the basket. That's why I find it.
No, okay.
I'm just looking at value standpoint, not about degree.
I'm talking about degree. I'm talking about degree of difficulty.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
So
I don't know the science. I don't know if I'm with you. I'm just
right. If you're big that can drag your man away from the rim by your just shooting ability, okay, that's valuable 100%. But the actual degree of difficulty, passing and shooting is not harder because you're bigger.
Well, that's why
I would think
Wilt,
passing's easier because you can see it.
but that's why Wilt though is high as he is on a lot of these lists because Wilt was also before Jokic and Walton, but Wilt more so because he had the scoring numbers. Wilt's analytics
and the passing numbers. Respect Magic Johnson before Magic Johnson.
I mean, he put away more
You
assists
okay?
than Walton did.
Who you talking about?
Wilt.
Hey, yo,
Yeah,
Mars.
what's
Mars, we might need to get him up out of here and you just take over this. I'm not sure what's up with brother.
I don't know, but he's taken away from the conversation for no reason.
As Swiper, as you were saying, sir.
Wilt Chamberlain, the reason why he saw people are really trying to learn, Ron. So the reason why Wilt Chamberlain,
I'm sorry, Swiper. I bet you better tuck that bottom lip in and you better focus. That's what you better do. That's what you better do. You better turn around.
His diary.
Tuck that bottom lip.
I can't read it. It's blurred.
Focus.
It's blurred.
That's what you better do. Anyway, as you were saying,
dictionary.
Yes.
As you were saying, Swiper.
I'm in detention according to Chill. So
Turn around, tuck that bottom lip in, and
You gonna let a man? That's crazy. My dad, only person. My dad don't even. Anyway, listen.
How many times you tell me to look you in your eye? What are you talking
That's different.
about?
That's different. That's
Shut
different.
up and
So
come on,
listen. So when you're talking about analytics, the reason why Wilt, in particular, LeBron, and Kareem, and David Robinson are as high as they are because the scoring and rebounding and passing are inflated stats because they're more important than any other statistical avenue in basketball because you have to score, you have to rebound, and you have to pass. So the other side of this is the reason why I think people have had so many issues with Joker and like, oh, analytics are saying he's the best player in the world. Quite literally, there's never been a combination, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. There's never been a tier 1 scorer, tier 1 passer, and tier 1 rebounder to exist all at once. That's never happened. Like Wilt was the best approximation, but respectfully, he wasn't the volume passer or the passer that Joker was. Or on the other end of this, the reason why his defensive box plus minus is so high, and this is to Ox's point, is because the defensive rebounding rate for Jokic is like all-time great high. And when you end possessions and you get a high enough steal percentage, that boosts you on your defensive value because it's saying you're literally ending possessions a third of the time, which is obscene.
Sure.
So that's why he's given so much love defensively. And Pirate, respectfully, Wilt Chamberlain, respectfully, is not the passer that Joker is. Me and Chill have had this conversation before. I don't think it's even close. I think the 5 best passers in NBA history are LeBron, Magic, Bird, Jokic, and either Kidd or Nash. That's it. I don't think Wilt's anywhere near that discussion. But it's not averaging assist, Pirate. So it's the assist rate. So again, Jokic, I think this last season had a 44% assist rate. You don't get bigs like past 38.
Right.
Like he's consistently getting in the 40s.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like it's just a different kind of value when it comes to. But again, I don't have issue with analytics though, y'all, because LeBron and Michael at the top of everything.
Well, now
they're the best players ever.
Now they are because they changed it. Well, they changed VORP. They didn't change defensive box plus minus, even though they 1000% should, because Jokic keeps leading the league in that stat, which is stupid. But I don't know why they change it when Russell Westbrook leads the league.
Because Mars.
But when Jokic leads the league and it's clearly flawed, they won't adjust it. Yeah, they won't adjust that.
It was different, but that season, though, I think in particular because his offensive rebound rate was
Jokic has the 5th best defensive box plus minus season ever.
Yeah, but again, rebounding. Yeah, rebounding.
No, and assists because the stat is flawed.
Right.
They need to change the stat.
Hold on, though.
Well, what do you do about rebounding, though? That's the thing.
Jokic has 3 of the top 10 defensive box plus minus seasons ever. We can all see with our eyes.
No.
That is wrong. But they won't change the stat.
Well, I think the defensive rebounding is always
based on what?
I'm just kidding. Defensive rebounding has always been the marker, though. I think that's the problem. It's like it's because the mathematics is trying to make up for rebounding in weird places defensively. That's where we even had the discussion. Is it a defensive rebound? Is that a defensive stat? Because there's no other place to put it. It's either it's defense or it's like the play-in tournament. There's no play-in tournament place to look up for the most part on NBA.com because you just don't find it. Like play-in stats. It's just you got to place it somewhere. So I think that's why it's so high. I also agree that I don't think that should be as skewed that highly, but also historically in NBA history, the reason why Duncan and Akeem and KG and them were also so high on this stuff is because of defensive rebounding. It's just that now there's like there's an anomaly, and it's not a science class. None of this is science. And also, I want y'all to understand that this is one of the reasons why over the course of the next year, I'm going to help develop some of this stuff for people. I don't think people realize that the reason why that avenue for analytics and stuff is so dominated, respectfully, so dominated by a lot of white nerds coming out of school and all that is because they have access to all this information prior to getting to that place. So the NBA is hiring these people like Thinking Basketball, hiring them to work on their YouTube pages, hiring them in their analytics departments, hiring them in the front office because they know this information and they want to use the NBA team want to use this information to determine player salaries, injury rates, rotation charts, and just anything that has anything to do with putting a player on the court. They do all this stuff. The people that have been locked out of that have been us because we don't know it because we just haven't had, by and large, not everyone, by and large, the same access to that education to understand what this is prior to where you get there. So this is why I'm saying respectfully, and I'm not naming names, just name nerd session on them that are working with the volume and all. This is what they do. But I know a lot of dudes in the back rooms
too. They be going to it over there.
They do. But that's
real
what
quick,
it is.
though, Swiper, because I want anybody, because I'm happy you said
so
what
you
you
got
said.
the ditch nurse.
Rob, mute your mic. So Swipe, I'm happy you said what you said right now. I'm not saying I disagree because it's true for the most part. But if you are watching and you want to get involved, the access is right here. It's 2024. It's 2024. Everybody can learn anything now. Okay. So don't feel like, oh, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I can't learn this. It's y'all see right now, I'm learning it right now. If I can learn it, you can learn it. If you want to work for one of these teams, you want to work for the NBA, you want to work for anybody and use your analytics and all that, you can learn all of this. It's 2024. The internet is right here. You don't necessarily have to go to school for it. You should stay in school, get in them books, do your thing, but you have access to all the information you want right in front of you. All right, so y'all get in there, get in them books, learn this stuff if you want to.
Sure, and also, talk to the right people, but you do need to have a little bit of money because synergy costs money. That stuff, some of that stuff costs bread. Now, maybe Chill, as he's making, all this, TikTok money and all that stuff, be able to provide you an ebook or something at one point where you can learn and everything else. But yeah, for sure. And there are absolutely people that can help you out. Go ahead, Joe.
To your point, you were bringing up that these companies are hiring these people. That's what the NBA is. The NBA is an entity, and they're largely built on numbers. What are the numbers that we're doing? And that's what these teams are doing. That's how they draft guys. That's how they pass on guys. That's what's going on today. But back to your point about Joker, I think that one of the main reasons why the big man isn't looked upon as the distributor, because I still think we're in a transition, guys. I still think we're in a transition in the aspect that the big man is becoming more of a distributor today than he was back then, and the ball handler is becoming less of a distributor and more of a scorer. See, that was more of the big man's job, to play in the post. We throw the ball into him, he scores the basketball. Not necessarily a black hole, but he would pass sometimes. That was the job of the lead guard. That's his job. Well, now the lead guard is becoming now we have more lead guards becoming more scorers and less distributors. And now we got big men who still score, but becoming more distributors. So we're more in a transition. So we still see this. So a lot of people, I think, still see the game where the big fella isn't as good a passer as a lot of these other guys are. When in reality, they are, because the game has changed. And I think we're in a transition and we haven't caught up with that yet.
I just need someone to change the defensive box plus minus formula. So whoever it is, please, because Jokic having 3 of the top 10 is disgusting. Also, Nate McMillan has the highest single season defense box plus minus ever. So shout out to him. But yeah, that needs to change because it's flawed, inherently flawed. So if they can change it for Russell Westbrook because they said it was wrong, they can change it for Jokic too.
I agree, Mars. And because in large part because if a rebound for a guard was valued as more, and they didn't think that was right, so they changed the rules, then similar to what Ox said, an assist for a big man shouldn't be valued more as well, or jumpers for a big man shouldn't be. It could be more for the game, like how Mars said, like it could be more valuable, but it shouldn't be valued more. Because
here's the definition. So assists are worth more for a post player than a point guard. Point guards handle the ball a lot and usually generate lower value assists. I think we understand what lower value assists.
Wait. Go
ahead.
That's not the case anymore, though.
Well, this is.
I get the definition, but
they're trying to rationalize it, but the issue is it's stupid and it needs to change.
I mean, we haven't even finished. How can we say something stupid if we haven't actually read through it yet?
Because it has Jokic as top 3 of the top 10 defense plus minus.
No, you're bringing up defense. I'm talking about
because his assists are weighing into it.
That goes into offensive box plus minus, not defensive.
No, because this is what I'm saying. We need to understand how these stats work. Defensive box plus minus is just box plus minus subtracted by offensive box plus minus. If Jokic is, yes, that's how it's calculated. Yes. It's just, yes. So if his offensive box plus minus is being boosted by his assists because it's weighted differently, that means by the formula, his assists are being inaccurate.
Into his total box plus minus, not defensive box plus minus.
But if defense box plus minus is just box plus minus subtracted by offensive box plus minus, right? We're on the same page. We understand that.
So
if box plus minus is valuing assists more for centers than it would normally, and this is something that you can look up, box plus minus values assists for bigs more than it does for guards, but offensive box plus minus doesn't. You look up the formula for offensive box plus minus, it doesn't do that. So when you get box plus minus subtracted by offensive box plus minus, Jokic's defensive box plus minus is having that skewed coefficient of extra valued assists because offensive box plus minus doesn't change the coefficient for assists between guards and bigs, but the overall box plus minus does. So when we're subtracting offensive box plus minus from box plus minus, the extra difference in the extra value of assists is being put into defensive box plus minus. So Jokic's assist stats are inherently inflating his defensive box plus minus.
It says it's subtracting, because that's why I guess I'm having issues with.
I'm gonna have to find it because I look.
Yeah, I'm looking at the page now, but just to give answers. So the assist is worth more for a post player, Ron. Point guards handle the ball a lot and usually generate lower value assists. A center assist is usually higher in value. In addition, post players that pass well are typically better. Post players that pass well are typically better defenders. Now that's interesting because that gets into your Hakeem, your Magic, your Malones, your Shaqs, and others of that orientation for sure. So that's just
I'm gonna have to find, because I read this a long time ago. I'm gonna have to find what I read because I was mad.
Then it also gets tricky because, like you just said, your box plus minus. I mean, Kobe Bryant got a negative box plus minus. He was a way better defender than that.
Defense.
He was a way better defender than that. But if you look at his box plus minus, it looks like he ain't that good of a defender. I'm like, wait a minute. Yes, he was.
The advanced stats aren't kind to Kobe in terms of how he's viewed versus his advanced stats drastically different. That's probably the biggest disconnect in terms of how he's viewed in the negative light. The biggest disconnect in terms of the positive light, probably David Robinson. The advanced stats love David Robinson, but he's not viewed in that high of a regard.
They
I
love
rem-
Chamberlain too.
Yeah, but I think let me find it because I'm pretty sure David Robinson has like of the non-MJ
He's like
LeBron
fourth.
season.
He's fourth on the list.
Yeah, of the non-MJ LeBron seasons, David Robinson has the best VORP ever
Mhm.
for a single season. And
Remember
he shows up a
that
few
people
times.
pushed back against David Robinson in the 90s because he was the IBM MVP. Because IBM had their own analytic department that helped them put together like who the most valuable player in the world was, and David Robinson won it a couple times over MJ.
You know what's crazy? Like y'all really don't understand how good David Robinson was.
Who's y'all?
We're gonna do our census. We're gonna do our census list. Yeah, don't worry. We're gonna
not you guys. I'm talking about the chat. Like y'all don't realize like David Robinson in the 90s. Mars, who would you compare him to today? Where it's like, would it be similar to Giannis? Where it's like, you got a horse. No, I'm not talking about game. Chill. I'm talking about
not game. No, I ain't talking about game.
I'm just trying to see where you're going.
You have a horse in the best player in the world debate. You're not, but you are that good to be in that tier.
Like Domantas Sabonis.
No, not like Domantas Sabonis. No.
Why y'all both just look me off like that? Y'all
because
been like no, like.
Oh, it's not the same
Sabonis, another one where his assist skew and his defensive was -2, by the way. But
that's why you got that vote.
He earned it.
Well, all passing bigs out of the post all get a boost. Embiid gets a boost. Giannis gets a boost. Sabonis gets a boost.
They need to change it. That's what I'm saying. They need to change it. That's because Sabonis.
Domantas get his in transition too, though. Unlike them other dudes.
Yeah, but it doesn't talk about. This is why it's a box score site. It's not gonna measure like where you're getting your assists. It's just assists.
But do you understand that? That's what I'm saying. Like that's, and by the way, kitchen sink. Everybody keeps making fun of that. Andy Bailey came up with kitchen sink as a ways to talk about the summary of all analytics. That he did it as a joke, and then it became a thing. Like it was so funny. I watched him do it. He was like, "Oh, I swipe it. I think I'm gonna do this." I'm like, "Oh, that makes sense." And then they're like, "Oh, look at kitchen sink bar." Huh?
That's your man's.
Yeah, Andy's cool. Andy's been cool. Yeah, me and Andy been cool for years.
Makes sense. I get it now.
No, man. I like everything. I like information. I'll do anything. You want to teach me about World War II? I'm gonna learn. Teach me about mathematics? I'm gonna learn. Teach me about astronomy? I'm gonna learn. I like everything. Teach me about basketball? I'm gonna learn.
Yeah, okay.
But all I'm saying,
I like
these
World
advanced.
War II.
I'm interested in history a little bit.
I got a book on the Third Reich up there right now.
Oh, double reading. I read Diary of a Wimpy Kid. But all the
Diary of a Wimpy Kid. That's a great movie too.
Great
My
movie.
kids.
Oh yeah, I think I've got every single book. But I like anything. The advanced stats need context. The box score stats need context. Accolades need context. The eye test needs context. Everything that you use to make an argument or make a debate or push whatever agenda you want to push, it requires context. I try to not use stats without context the same way I try to use my eye test with context. I think everything requires context. You can make anything sound good.
Mars,
if you just use something without context.
What do you think about this idea though? Because I do think I think in the next 10 years we'll kind of come to we'll be in an even better place. But prior to the analytics and mathematics helping us to equate value with winning and individual player contributions, a lot of this was we're just putting stuff together. Like on MVP votes, used to just be who got the best vibes, most points per game, looked the best, rebounding, all NBA teams. It didn't used to actually have like go ahead, you got $100 super chat. Go ahead.
No. We I mean, it's
that's the third $100 super chat in the last 5 days.
He sent one to Open Gym too.
I'm just showing Arch love. But
yeah, Arch might be the goated Hall of Fame member.
Oh yeah. No,
other Hall of Famers got.
He sent one yesterday. Could I 3-0'd? He sent one the other day. He sent one now.
Yeah.
We're talking.
Yeah,
hey, Arch, man, if you want to just fund the personal, the swipe of ministry, just let me know. Just let me know. I need help with salsa classes.
Yeah, Arch want to send super chats to multiple sports on YouTube. That's crazy, man. That's cool.
Swipe it up. I don't like how you just said people got MVPs off vibes.
They did.
Who got an MVP?
Kareem got an MVP.
Yeah, but even I test like the games weren't as available as they.
Oh, so I agree. That's what I'm saying. Agree.
A lot of it was marquee matchups, nationally televised games, the box score, team records. That's what today. Yeah. Well, you know how I feel about accolades. You know how I feel about accolades. But yes, and I think it's still stupid. But now there is more in terms of the advanced analytics that are put into it. Now a lot of it does go beyond the box score and stuff.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Before it was strictly like box score.
There had to be something put in place. There had to be to help us to get to a better place to discuss the game. Because prior to this, it was all narratives, one-on-one matchups, who won the one-on-one matchups, when you got hot and when you got cold. That's why 23 was such a travesty. Like, it just made no sense. The whole last part of the year made no sense from an award standpoint. It was all narrative. We went back to 1985. And then we just redid the process over again. I mean, even the Russell Westbrook MVP year, everybody says, like, Russell shouldn't have won. I'm like, look, the numbers also love Russ that year. He was also, like, had a great narrative behind him, great story, but he was great. Now, if Harden would have won, if Kawhi would have won, if Steph would have won, they all had individual arguments. But I don't think that analytics and numbers should be the entire debate, Jill and Ox.
So I don't think they are. I don't.
Yeah, some people do that.
But
some people don't.
I can't discount what you produce, though. That very much matters. In terms of being a league MVP, what your production is does matter. I can't just, like you just mentioned about aura and the eye test. Okay, you look great, but in the end, what are you producing? And if you're only producing this, and this guy also looks great, and I think it's a combination. I can't just take out I can't just take out the production part. That's why I have a difficult time when I listen to guys talk to me about this guy's greater and this guy's a better player. Okay, I understand the better player logic, but when you're producing less in a similar situation, or if you're producing less in maybe in less of a situation, that does matter. That's not my fault.
What do you mean by producing less? What does producing less mean?
Okay, so let's just say, for example, Bryant and Steve Nash. The fact that Bryant averaged 36 a game and Steve Nash averaged 18. He was doubling that. Even though I thought, even though I felt like Steve Nash, what he produced that year in terms of overall as an offensive player was a lot. But the fact that you're looking at the box score and you're going, yo, he averaged 36 a game, so he's clearly producing more than Steve Nash. Well, wait a minute, no, that's not true. That's not true at all. No.
So who did produce more in 2006?
I think Steve Nash did.
Is that based on something tangible, or you just think he produced more? Like, is that
no? That's that. Well, if you think about what he did in terms of their offense, I think he was responsible for almost 50% of their offense as a scorer, as a distributor, and I'm not sure if there's another guy in the league who was responsible for that much offense. Not just that season, but I don't know if there's a guy who's responsible for that much offense that season than Steve Nash was. And he had his second best player out of the lineup in the process of doing that.
Well, just let's get to advanced stats. In VORP, Kobe was second in the league that year. Steve Nash was
in 2006. We're talking about.
Okay, remember, VORP was who played more games that year?
In that year, Kobe played 80, Steve Nash played 79. So this gap is not being made up by one game. It's an 8.0 for Kobe, 4.9 for Steve Nash. Substantial gap. Kobe had a 7.6 box plus minus. Steve Nash had let's find him. Where is Steve Nash? Steve Nash had a 5.0, substantial gap. Defensive box plus minus, if you want to bring that up for some reason.
Of course not.
Kobe had a 0.2. Nash had a negative something. It was a negative.
No defensive value whatsoever.
Negative 0.7. So once again,
it's almost a -1.
Offensive box plus minus. Kobe had a 7.4. Steve Nash had a 5.7. Win shares per 48. Kobe had a 0.224. Nash had a 0.212. So Kobe wins again. Overall win shares. Kobe 15.3. Steve Nash 12.4. Defensive win shares, once again, neither one of them are moving anything substantially. But Kobe 3.7, Steve Nash 2.1. Right. Kobe wins again. Offensive win shares.
Why did he win league MVP then? If the analytics love MVP, if the analytics love league MVPs, right? If the analytics love league MVPs, and he finished fourth that year in league MVP votes.
We didn't do that. It wasn't 2000 wasn't that time.
2006, it was still the who won more games,
narrative and all that
seeding.
Yeah.
It was a lot of narrative that went into it. And statistically, I don't think Kobe was the number one in the league in terms of all of these stats. I mean,
because he finished behind. He finished behind James,
Dirk and LeBron. But offensive win shares, Dirk led the league 13.5. Kobe was fourth, 11.6. Nash was at 10.3. He's behind Gilbert Arenas. So, like, all of these advanced stats, Steve Nash is lagging behind all of the MVP candidates. Dirk had the best offensive win shares. LeBron was second between the MVP candidates. Kobe was third. Actually, Chance Billups came fifth in MVP that year, right? Chance Billups was second in offensive win shares. So all of the MVP candidates were above Steve Nash. Defensive win share, Steve Nash was last between all the MVP candidates.
So how
That
did he win the
include-
league MVP in that year? Because if I'm thinking
the
about
narrative of
I
Amari
know they
missing
won
games,
they won
50-something
54
wins,
games
or-
that they won 54 games that year. What Steve Nash was responsible for with losing the first team All NBA performer in Stoudemire. The fact that they still played with one of the fastest paces in the league, his assist to turnover ratio was, well, I think it was at the top of the league, and he didn't play on the defensive side of the ball, and I understand that part. But with everything that he produced offensively, like you just mentioned, I mean, Bryant was better, Dirk was better. So why did he win the league MVP? I don't get that. Because winning matters. Winning
Well,
absolutely
Dirk
matters.
won
And
more
they ended
games,
up,
too.
and they ended up, I think they ended up winning, I think they ended up third in the West. And again, this is not about the league MVP. This is how it gets screwed up because it's not about the best player in the league. Sometimes the best player wins it. Sometimes the best player wins it. But it is the most valuable player in the league.
Is this the
You are the
05
most
or 6 year
valuable
we're
team.
talking about?
Yeah, the
You are the most valuable to your team's success. The most valuable. So was Steve Nash more valuable to his team's success than Dirk Nowitzki was that?
Well, if we're doing this, then Dirk should have won it. If we're just doing based on
the voters deemed him as more valuable, I think, because of Murray went down. But Dallas did win more. Dallas won more games. Dirk cleared him in the advanced stats. Offensive win shares, Dirk cleared. Defensive win shares, Dirk cleared. Overall win shares, Dirk cleared. Win shares for 48, Dirk
James
cleared.
too.
Offensive, all of them. Yeah, they all cleared. Chauncey Billups was actually surprisingly high in these stats. But
Chauncey was a dog.
It's a lot of narrative stuff, and everyone knows how I feel about Steve Nash. I mean,
why did he win it
he was
then?
great. But
Even though again, with Stoudemire being out of the lineup, Steve Nash still being responsible for almost 50% of their offense. Right, I get that part, and his ability to take care of the basketball like he did, and getting them to 54 wins. I think they finished third in the West, which at that time was a nightmare Western Conference. So with him doing that, the value that he brought to the Phoenix Suns, as opposed to Dirk Nowitzki, because you talked about his numbers, thinking about who Dirk Nowitzki was running with. He did have his second best player. He still had his third best player. He had all of that stuff going on. And in the process of him having that, was he more valuable to his team's success than Steve Nash was?
Yes, based on the numbers.
The numbers would say so. I mean, the
Based on
numbers
the
have
impact
Sean Marion had a higher VORP than Steve Nash on his own team.
He shouldn't have won the league MVP then.
So yeah, apparently, Steve Nash was the second most valuable Sun.
Yeah.
So
well, again, I more so, instead of doing VORP, I just do win shares, because win shares is just approximation on a game by game basis.
Well, win shares per 48.
Sure.
Sean Marion beat Steve Nash again.
Yeah,
or maybe we could just do who was the best player in the league at that moment in time. Who was
that's
like
the problem, Ron, because that's when the criteria changed.
The MVP
who had the
needs
best
a
season.
The MVP needs a set criteria. If there was a set criteria, it wouldn't be a subjective.
There's no way you can have a set criteria, though.
Not the best player in the league. My bad.
No,
just who had the better season.
Yes, you can.
Better season is going to be subjective.
And the reason why I say that, Swiper, because
the
reason why I say that, Swiper, because we do the same thing in the NFL. NFL is the best player on the best team.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it 100% is.
Because if that's the case, no, chill. If that's the case, Christian McCaffrey would have won MVP last year. He would have won MVP. He was the best player on the best team. But it's a quarterback award.
Who won it? Lamar Jackson?
It was Lamar Jackson, who I think should have won, but he wasn't better than Christian McCaffrey last year.
Tell everybody where Baltimore finished last year.
Number one in the AFC.
The best player on the best team.
CMC finished number one on the NFC team and had a more valuable season than Lamar did. I also voted Lamar too. I also voted Lamar because Lamar plays quarterback. Lamar had 17 touchdowns, passing touchdown, 5 interceptions. I think he had 8 rushing touchdowns, had 800 yards rushing, and another like 32, whatever.
17 touchdowns. That's it.
But remember his passing value last year wasn't the same. Remember they had them lows where he wasn't great.
I don't care, Swap. You gotta do better. You gotta do better than 17 if you want an MVP vote out of me.
But he's a dual threat quarterback. He had 25 TDs last year, I think.
Troy Aikman making a Pro Bowl.
But remember when he won his first one, he had 36 passing touchdowns.
Correct.
And like eight more rushing touchdowns. And then the next year, he was on pace to be the first quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards and run for 1,000 yards, but he got hurt. So Ox, he's had some boomers in there. I think that if you're just talking value, this is why I don't agree with you, Chill, because it can't be that way. Because if it was that, Devin Booker would have an MVP right now. Chris Paul would have an MVP right now because they
Wait a
finished at the
minute.
top of the
Okay,
Western Conference.
Right.
What the hell
They
Devin
finished
Booker
at the
gotta
top
do?
of the Western
Okay.
Conference
That's
back-to-back
right.
years, and that was their two best players. The first one was CP3 the first year, and then it was Devin Booker the next year.
Then that's the point that I'm making, Swipe. But we don't have that criteria.
We don't need that. That'll be dumb. That'll be the worst MVP ever. Why would I want that to be MVP?
So y'all don't think the best player on the best team should be MVP?
Hell no.
No.
Tatum should not be winning no MVP
Yeah,
because he's on the
that means
62
Jason
team.
Tatum's.
No.
I
means
think the
Tatum,
best
but-
player in the league should win MVP, but it's
Okay,
I
but
agree.
that's what
I
so
agree.
wait a minute. So that's where the divide comes in,
No,
Rod.
it don't. There's a clear.
Yes, it is,
The numbers
because
say it's one person every year.
No, Swiper, that's not true because when I watched Shaq, he was the best player in the league
What
in
year?
2000.
What year?
In 2000, he was the
2000.
best player in the
He
league.
should have won.
and
he
he
won.
did win.
And if I'm not mistaken, he was on the best team in the league. That happened.
Okay.
No. But no. Chill. Hold on.
Well, yeah, he was. The
Yeah,
Lakers were
you're
the best
mixing
He
up
was, but
best
I'm
player,
not.
most dominant. Hold
but
on,
he wasn't the
listen up.
best player because he was on the best team.
Yeah, that's what doesn't make any sense. He was the single greatest force in basketball. So they won
Was he on
because
the
of
best-
Shaq.
Was he on the best team in the league? Yes or no?
Yes, the Lakers were the best team
That's
in the
the
world.
point.
No,
That's the point.
chill. And, here, let's do this because we're doing this thought experiment with chill now. Chill. So 2000 to 2001. 2001. Who's the best player in the world in 2001?
Shaq.
What are they? Were they the best team in the West going into the playoffs?
Yeah. What? Who was the one seed that year? The Spurs.
Spurs
Yes.
were.
It was.
Should Duncan have won the MVP that year? Over
Did the
Shaq
Sixers- Did the Sixers have the best record in the league that year?
Yeah, they was the best in the East.
What in
in the East.
No, the Spurs won the most games. So Duncan, I
Yeah.
guess.
So Duncan should have won
Yeah,
MVP over Shaq that year.
Billy, first of all, I'm asking
year
for a
we talking
criteria. And the reason why I brought I
Philly
brought up
and the
a
Lakers
criteria.
have the same.
I
record.
brought up a criteria, and I said it's very simple in pro football. They got a criteria. It's
They
the best
don't.
player on the best team. Yes,
They
they
don't.
do.
It's the
not-
quarterback.
If
It's
it's the
just
quarterback,
his only
then why
quarterback.
is Adrian Peterson winning league MVP? Why did he do that?
2012. Name how many running backs have won. Name every non-quarterback. Because you're getting into my world now.
Okay.
Name every
Yeah, I have
non-quarterback
no
since
idea.
2012 to win an MVP.
Just Adrian Peterson.
What are we talking about then? So are we saying the only best players in the world are all quarterbacks? Patrick Mahomes should have won it last year for that trash year he had?
I guess.
No
That's
way.
That's what pro football has established.
No, it hasn't.
It's the best player on the best team.
Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, and Lamar Jackson all were better than Patrick Mahomes in the regular season last year. Now what? So we should just give it to him just because he's Mahomes?
I'm sorry, who won the league MVP last year?
Lamar Jackson.
Right.
He's not better than Patrick Mahomes.
He was better than Christian McCaffrey?
No, he wasn't. No one in football is better than him.
I don't understand what's going on.
Chill, in 01-02,
because-
Chris Webber should have won MVP?
No, he's saying that the best player in the NFL is winning the MVP.
I'm not saying that's what it
bringing
should
it back
be.
to
That's what the
basketball.
criteria is.
In 01-02,
The best player on the
No,
best
no,
team.
He's saying the NFL has a criteria. He's not saying he agrees.
But I'm
with the
saying they
criteria. He's saying
don't because Patrick Mahomes is the consensus best player in the sport.
They're not on the best team, though. Swiper, that's the problem. If I'm not mistaken,
in the regular season. I
want to make sure that
Best record. He's saying the best record.
if Kansas City last year won 14 games or won 15 games, Patrick Mahomes would have won the league MVP.
If he played better, they would have won those games.
He
Not
would have
lying.
won. That's why he didn't win.
No, but my issue with what you're saying, Chill, is you're saying the best player, the criteria is the best player wins the award. I'm saying Patrick Mahomes is the consensus best player in the sport. Prior to that, it was Aaron Donald, best player in the sport. J.J. Watt, best player in the sport. Von Miller, best players at their apex in the sport with Tom Brady, but they didn't win MVPs every year because that's just not the way the NFL
Were
works.
they on the best team?
What do you mean?
Was Aaron Donald when
No, he
Aaron
wasn't.
Donald was the
He was
right?
not.
That's the point, Swiper.
But how can you be the best player? But just because you're the best player in the world, that means you're going to have the best record.
That's not. You're missing my point.
Please
What-
break
what-
it down for me then.
What the
I need to understand.
what the NFL does. To your point, when you're talking about quarterbacks, the quarterback is the most valuable position because you handle the football more than anybody. You're responsible for turnovers. You're responsible for completions, all of that good stuff. So quarterback is deemed, even though I don't
Show a highlight tape past Powell League for y'all. Go ahead, Joe.
even though I do think that there are guys that are more valuable than the quarterback, but you are as only good. Even though I think there's better players than the quarterback, I think that your team, in terms of value, there aren't many guys that are more valuable than the quarterback. So when you have the best team in the league, the best player on that team or the most valuable player on that team is more times than not the quarterback. That's why the running back is valued as he is. That's why running backs don't get paid. I personally think that defensive players don't get valued nearly as much. I don't think running backs get valued nearly as much. But when I think about defensive players, when I think about football players, that's in the NFL, 9 times out of 10, it's the best player on the best team in the league. That's the criteria in the NFL. And the quarterback is valued the most of all of these people. That's the way that works. In baseball, it's the best player. We don't care if you're at the bottom of the league. It's the best player in the league. That's
Adrian Peterson. They scampered into the playoffs on the last game of the year. The number 1 seed in the West was the Denver Broncos, and Peyton Manning had 39 touchdowns that year. Did win MVP.
Are you talking about
2012?
This the same Adrian Peterson that ran for 2,000 yards that year?
Yeah, as a fringe playoff team.
Where did Minnesota finish that year?
So he's a Russell Westbrook MVP.
They finished like they were
MVP.
They're like 10-6.
Hey,
If
that boy 100% deserved that MVP.
Yeah, I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying
y'all bet not say he didn't otherwise.
He's an exception. He must have done something historic. So he's an exception.
Yes. He ran for 2,000 yards, Mars. The last guy to do that was Eric Dickerson, and that was 40 years.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Chris Johnson did it in 2008, and then Terrell Owens did in 19. Or Terrell Davis did in 98.
Someone did it 4 years prior.
And then Jamal Lewis.
He was. I apologize.
If someone did it 4 years prior, then never mind. I'm not.
There was 4 2,000-yard runners from 98 till that point.
Oh, okay.
If I'm not mistaken, did he run for the most yards in the regular season other than Eric Dickerson that season?
So he was 9 yards short of the record.
That's what I'm saying. So Mars
2097.
Damn, they could have just given him a couple more rounds.
No, because what happened was had they gave him the ball, he would have ran. So he could have. They were near the goal line. They could have ran the ball, but the problem is they had no more timeouts. They could have given him the ball. They would have lost the game. He would have set the all-time record. But the problem was he got them to a point. He was 9 yards short. They kicked the ball to get a field goal to go into the playoffs, and they got dog walked because they shouldn't have been there in the first place. And
so they chose to win instead of get his record?
Yes. And then didn't amount to anything. So they should have gave him a
So nobody had gotten. So instead of me saying 2,000 yards, let me rephrase that. Nobody had gotten as close to Eric Dickerson's record than Adrian Peterson did that year. Nobody had done that. So that was an exceptional season.
Watching that year, though, Adrian Peterson, it was like clearly.
No, because Peyton Manning came back.
Let me watch some highlights.
Peyton Manning came up from not playing the whole year before, led them to the number 1 seed, had 39 touchdowns that year, and had the number 1 offense in football.
Who was he playing for?
The Broncos. It was the Broncos that year.
Who? Talk to him, Swiper.
Mars, watch this. Who?
What does that mean?
Where they located?
Your bias.
Because he played in Peyton Manning. What are you talking about? Peyton Manning had 5 MVPs.
What are you talking about?
He has 5. What do you mean? You could have 6.
Okay. And why doesn't he have 6?
What do you mean? Why didn't he have 6? Well, he didn't have 6.
Drew
Brees took one. For Adrian Peterson took one, and then Tom Brady took one.
Adrian Peterson didn't take one.
Neither did Drew Brees.
You're right. He didn't take it, Ron. He
stole it. He stole it. Yeah, exactly. He stole it.
Hey,
he didn't take it. They gave it to him.
How was your weekend?
Do you realize that Peyton Manning threw 55 touchdowns and 10 interceptions and didn't win unanimous the next year?
How was your Sunday, Swiper?
I don't know what this guy do anything.
Yeah.
Are you talking about football? I was great. I got meal prep made for me all weekend. I was good. I was living. My fantasy football teams won. I felt great. I feel perfectly fine.
Your football teams won? What? Georgia won?
I said my fantasy football teams. I feel great. My life is good.
Okay. Swiper, you're purposely ducking.
Where are you from? Seattle?
Yeah, I am from Seattle.
How many Super Bowls you won in your life? Nothing. Exactly.
Nothing? What are you lying? And who do we beat?
How many Super Bowls you won?
One.
Okay, cool. Congratulations. Congratulations. Everybody congratulate them on their entry into the Super Bowl family. Guess what? If you've been to 8 Super Bowls or won 3, raise your hand. You know why you can't? Because it's only the Cowboys, only the Broncos, only Pittsburgh, only the 49ers. Move on. Everybody else move on.
For the record, Miles, Peyton Manning did finish second that year in league MVP votes.
He did. And he should have won that year.
This Adrian Peterson guy just won in 3 people.
Yeah, he was crazy. He was nuts. Mars. Again, the narrative. He tore his ACL. Only was out 6 months. tore his ACL at the end of the 2011-12 season, came back 6 months later, game 1, was hunting people down.
That was also part of the narrative too, though.
Yeah,
that was part of the
Who
narrative.
did that? Who did that?
Adrian Peterson. He
tore his ACL 6 months prior to that. Was that in the playoff game?
But hold on. What about Peyton Manning's neck?
I know. Everybody forgets that. Peyton Manning couldn't feel his fingers that season.
His neck was broken.
Broke. 39 touchdowns next year, Mars.
Ron, I'm talking about.
Yeah, but this guy's running through people.
All right, Mars. Now do this. Go to opening week versus the Pittsburgh Steelers for Peyton Manning. Go show that game so you can see what exactly.
I'm not gonna be moved by someone throwing like this guy.
Exactly. Pictures.
These highlights just look cooler.
Yeah, they look cooler. Exactly. That's exactly why you want.
Oh, you watching them, Morris?
Yeah, I'm watching. He just running through like a crowd of 17 people.
Hey, okay. So look,
I don't know how many people are actually there, but I just saw him just run through a crowd.
I'm gonna stop disrespecting Peyton Manning. Like Peyton Manning, that was a GOAT season.
Yeah, you're from Seattle. Go somewhere. Your GOAT quarterback is Russell Wilson.
We beat y'all yesterday.
That's cool. Don't mean nothing to me. I got John Elway and Peyton Manning. What you got? What you got? Russell Wilson
beat Peyton Manning.
What you got? Russell Wilson.
I got
That's cool.
Smith. I got Geno Smith. We kicked y'all ass
Alexander.
Hey, they got Sean Alexander. And guess what? Marshawn and Sean Alexander, none of them hold a candle to Terrell Davis. None of them. Neither one of them. Neither one. And lie. Go ahead and lie.
Fight that, Ron?
Go ahead and lie. Respect on Beast Mode.
He ain't Terrell Davis. You're tripping.
You better put some respect on Beast
Mode.
Mode.
You can respect Marshawn and still
I'm not
understand.
comparing nobody. I'm saying you better put some respect on Beast Mode.
I think he's great, but he ain't TD. TD got the real 2,000-yard season.
Skittles all over the end zone. You remember that?
Hey, guess who has the most rushing yards in one single season in NFL history? Terrell Davis. Hey, Chill, did you know that? 2,450 yards rushing in one season.
He wouldn't have did that on Legion of Boom.
No one's ever come close to that.
No one's ever come close.
Huh?
He wouldn't have did that on
the no-fly zone was even better 2 years later. So how you feel about that? Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, Malik Jackson, Derek Wolfe, Danny Trevathan, Brandon Marshall, Akeem Talib, Chris Harris, Darian Stewart.
I don't remember this.
What you want to do? Yeah, you know why? Because you couldn't make it out of the conference, and then they mudsed up Cam Newton in a 15-1 season in the Super Bowl. But you yapping.
To give you some context on this, Mars, Adrian Peterson, the year he won the league MVP, he averaged 130 yards a game on 6 yards a carry on average.
Yeah, he was crazy.
So essentially what that is today, that's a dude in the game today. That's a dude averaging like 38, 39 a game on like 55% from the floor.
But
I'm
just
to be clear though, Mars, that he was their whole team. They sucked. Christian Ponder was that quarterback.
Well, yeah, this highlight right now, they're down 30-10, but he just ran like
exactly. So he's getting them Peter highlights. Meanwhile, Peyton's winning, throwing dimes.
I mean, what do you want him to do? How's he going to win the game single-handedly? All he can do is run.
All right, whatever. Peyton Manning the next year had 4. He had 8. Tell him, Ox. 5 players had 10+ touchdowns for the Denver Broncos next year. 5. 5 of them.
Super team.
A super team? You call that a super team? Eric Decker.
Peyton Carey. All right, bro. You know what?
Eric Decker's a super team member. Julius Thomas had 2 great years. No Sean Marino. That's a super team.
You better respect no Sean. What?
He was cool. He was a good player.
You better respect my nigga Moreno. What?
All right, super team.
This guy just cooked your team run. I ain't gonna lie. He just ran like 80 yards.
The Seattle Seahawks are boo-boo.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
terrible franchise. Boo.
We ain't look boo yesterday.
That's cool with me. You did.
Are we gonna talk about basketball again? Or?
No, we're not.
Yes, let's do that.
Because I'll happily take the rest of the show off.
What we were talking about, the way we got in this, we were talking about the league MVP having the league MVP having a criteria. That's what we were talking about. And
Chill said best player, best team, so Tatum can win. That's why you said
I didn't say that, Swiper. You said that. I did not say that.
Well, what's the criteria you want then? Tell me what your criteria should be.
That's the problem. We don't. Is it?
No, Chill. I said you. What do you think?
I think that the most valuable player in the league. I think that the most valuable player in the league wins matter. What you produce, how consistently you produce. Yes.
I think the best player on the best team should be MVP.
That sounds terrible. Sounds like trash to me. But I agree.
At least it's a consistent criteria. Well, I mean,
just
who's the best player on the team?
If Devin Booker was MVP right now, that's what I'm saying.
All this other stuff. Devin Booker had a hell of a season that year.
So you think KD should have been the MVP in 2017?
My thing is, it makes it a lot more simpler because then it's just a whole bunch of it changes up every year. Oh, well, and then people get it's political or bias or favorite. Just make it simple. Make a criteria. There is no criteria. It's just a bunch of people that, oh, this is my favorite player. Should be MVP. Best player, best team. You get MVP. Yeah,
So you think
MVP,
KD should have been the MVP in 2017? Or Steph? I don't know who played more games.
I'm fine. My thing is,
I think it was.
I'm fine with that. I really don't care. It's just kind of like I just want some consistency. Like I don't give a damn about who wins MVP. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm with Vox. Yeah. I don't care about the awards. So as long as the criteria,
not me. I like
whoever who wins
I do,
MVP actually, like, it means absolutely nothing to me.
To
you
who?
know what I'm saying?
Oh,
but it's just really simpler just to do it that way. Because then
I don't want Devin Booker and Jason Tatum being MVP in my league.
One second, Swiper. You just got. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem.
And why is it though?
You don't want this person to win it. You don't want. It don't matter. Who cares?
Over 5 more players? No, I don't.
My thing is, it doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I can say Jokic the best player in the league with or without the MVP.
There's no consistency. It's just, oh, I hate this player. I hate that player. I like this player. I like that player. Where's the consistency? There's no consistency at all. So it just makes it like we need some criteria. Because then you
have to be on a winning team. You have to be on a winning team. That's been the consistent criteria. Which winning relative to now. Like, it used to be top 3 Chill when Chill was like, you know, when we were all very young.
It's always been that. It's always been that. Right. Russell Westbrook and Joker were the exception.
Right.
It's always
so
been.
I think you should be on a winning
deserve
team.
to be the exception because they were exceptional.
I mean, it depends on how you want to. Because remember, everybody just going back to history. Everybody's like, oh well, you know, whatever. It's like, bro, I'm not gonna lie. Like, the field was just anyway. I think winning team. I think impact stats matter. I think your EPM, box plus minus, VORB, PER, win share per 48, all that stuff matters. I think your on court play, how good the team is when you're on, meaning your on court net rating, like how valuable are to winning, how valuable are to success. I think your production matters, but production is relative because a player averaging 18 and 12 assists could be better than a player averaging 27 points and 7 assists. Like 18 and 12 is ridiculous. So it just depends on what you do. Like how you perform. I think I've said this consistently. Michael Jordan should have won it over Malone and Charles Barkley. I don't care about none of that other stuff. He was the best player. The impact stats said he was the best player.
I think they got those years. They got those years. Jordan should have won it in 97. Malone should have won it in 98. Those are the years that they got it wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
fellas,
yeah.
We got to move on though because we got to get to the main topic of the show. Giannis versus Duncan versus Garnett. Now, I got some topics, but I can't show you guys these topics. But we will get to these topics in categories. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. And I need you guys to tell me your 1, 2, and 3 in this category. Or no, just who you got as the best in this category.
No, we should do 1, 2, and 3. We should
do 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah, we got time.
Come on. Let's do it. Let's do it then. All right. The first category that we got with Giannis, Duncan, and Kevin Garnett is perimeter defense. Okay. Chill, we're going to start with you. It's essentially a start bench cut in all of these categories. Or 1, 2, 3.
Perimeter defense?
Yes.
I'm starting Garnett. I'm benching Duncan, and I'm cutting Giannis.
Mars?
Start KG, bench Giannis, cut Duncan.
You said bench Giannis, cut Duncan? So you guys had the opposites.
Well, no, we both had KG 1, but the 2 and 3 flipped, yeah.
Hold on.
Start
so
KG.
Chill said
start KG 2 as well. Yeah.
You started KG? All right.
I said start KG, bench Giannis, cut Duncan. He said start KG, bench Duncan, cut Giannis.
Yep.
Ox?
Start KG.
And 2 and 3? Perimeter defense?
Niggas can't play.
KG with 48.
Ox, I need a 1, 2, 3 from you. I get what you're saying, but I need a 1, 2, 3. So out of Kevin Garnett or out of Giannis,
I would bench Giannis and cut Tim Duncan. I think Giannis a little more mobile, side to side. I would go ahead and cut Duncan, bench Giannis here.
Swiper?
Yes, it's Garnett, Giannis, Duncan.
Yeah. 5 rings ain't gonna save you here, buddy.
All right. Kevin Garnett wins the perimeter defense. Giannis is benched. Garnett or Duncan is cut. Next is athleticism.
Oh,
chill.
That's easy. I'm gonna start Giannis. I'm gonna bench KG, and I'm cutting Duncan.
Oh wow.
So me?
Yeah.
Start Giannis. Bench KG, cut Duncan. But I think KG and Duncan is close. I could change my mind.
Swiper.
Giannis, KG, Duncan.
When did Swiper go ahead of me? I just went third last time, right?
Because he be hating on you, man. He be hating on you.
Next category that we got. Big Ox.
Start KG.
Wait, so Ox didn't do the athleticism?
No, he's doing it right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, start KG. Bench Giannis. Cut Duncan.
All right. Giannis wins the athleticism category. KG is benched. And Duncan is cut for the second straight category. 3-point shooting. Now, obviously, I know these guys don't really shoot like that.
Can we cut all
I
three?
know these guys don't really shoot like that, but it happens to be one of the categories.
Gotta start Tim Duncan.
I seen Duncan make a big three. So
I saw Giannis make back-to-back on Victor Wembanyama last year.
this is crazy. Yeah, okay. Go ahead, Joe.
I'm gonna start Duncan. I'm gonna bench KG, and I'm cutting Giannis.
Do I factor in the fact that I value that they didn't shoot them because they knew they couldn't make them?
No.
A lot of times they were shooting.
No,
a lot of
Mars.
times they were
It's
shooting them when
the
shot.
better-
A lot of times
Because I'm like the way I'm viewing it is, if someone shoots 29% from three, right, and they take 3 a game, and someone else shoots 29% from 3, but they only take a 3 every other game, I'm gonna value the guy who doesn't shoot them, other than the guy who's chucking them up and I can't make them.
And a lot of times, and a lot of times, the guy that's chucking them up, he's chucking them up when the shot clock is going down. Like it's not like it's a part of the offense. That's not what's going on.
Like Giannis sometimes just be wanting to shoot threes, but like if we're talking about just the ability to make them, I'm going Giannis 1, KG 2, Duncan 3. If we're not factoring in the fact that he was taking too many, so
that's a wouldn't that be a deterrent to your team, Mars? I mean,
that's why I asked, because for me,
Yeah,
Giannis taking too many. Like this year, he actually took less, so good on him. But generally, like Giannis taking 3 threes a game, I think is more detrimental than KG taking 0.6 on 28%. Like KG never shot him, so like he wasn't as detrimental. But if we're talking about just the ability to make him, I'm going Giannis 1, KG 2, Duncan 3.
You can have the ability to make them, though, Mars. But if you're killing us, what difference does it make in terms of your ability? I mean, it looks good, and it looks like it could work. Only except more times than not, it's not working. In fact, you're killing us, as opposed to the guy who I don't really shoot these a lot, but when I'm in a position to shoot them, I'll shoot it, and I'm not really killing us because I ain't really shooting that much. You, on the other hand, you actually are shooting, and you're killing us.
Yeah, this. I don't know why this is a category, but I mean, I guess. Yeah.
Swiper. I mean, sorry, Ox.
What's up?
3-point shooting.
Oh, I thought it was past this. Yeah, go Tim, KG, Giannis.
All right, Swiper.
I'm fine with that. That's the same.
Swiper, you going Tim, KG, Giannis?
Sure. Yeah. It's a bad off.
I don't know how Giannis is lost, but I guess.
Because according to your logic, Mars, the fact that he takes as many threes as he takes them, it's more.
I asked if I was factoring it in, and guys said no. But now it seems that everyone just put him last. I'm the only one who didn't appear to factor that in. I'm the one who brought it up.
All right, y'all. We got a tie right now. I'm gonna just break the tie between Kevin Garnett and Tim Duncan. God damn.
Man, you know KG was better from 3 than Tim Duncan. You know he was.
Yeah, but Tim Duncan really hit that 1-3 Mars, and it's like, you know what, chat? I gotta lean on y'all.
Oh my God.
Chat, you guys,
it's KG.
Bring the ball out. Do you take
who's the better 3-point shooter? All right, chat. I'm putting up this poll right now. KG and Tim Duncan. I need you guys to let me know who's the better 3-point shooter. While you guys are doing that, I'm gonna give you a couple minutes. We'll go to the next category. Next category is handling the rock. Who got the better handles?
Oh, this is a
That's
wash.
easy.
We know what this is. It should be the same 3 for everybody.
Well, chill. Talk to us.
I'm starting Giannis. I'm benching KG, and I'm cutting Timmy.
Yes.
Mars.
Same.
Well, I'm starting KG, benching Giannis, cutting Timmy.
KG,
I knew
Alright.
you were gonna do that.
Wait.
You
I
think
say that one more time.
Starting KG, benching Giannis, cutting Timmy.
Ox, what I want you to do is I want you to take your fan hat off for a second. and I
There's
want
no
you-
fan hat on. I'm just talking hoop. And KG got.
That's what I'm talking about. I just want to talk hoops. I want to talk basketball. We talking about a dude who gets the peel off the glass, whether he gets it off the glass or somebody kicking it to him, whether that's going on. A guy in transition like Giannis, putting his head down, being able to get by people when he gets into the half court, being able to get by people off the dribble. This is what we're talking about, off the dribble, and being able to counter when somebody. So when he gets pushed to the left and he counters back to the right, you think KG is better than Giannis?
100% better. I didn't even know this. I thought we were all on the same page. I was shocked when y'all said start Giannis. I thought because KG got it in transition. KG got it in the half court. KG will open up and face and get at you in the mid range with a 1-2-3, a combo. KG got handles like a guard. Now I understand Giannis gets wherever he wants, but so does KG. KG can't. I don't know. I mean, like I said, you still benching Giannis. It's not like I'm cutting him. I think Giannis has very good ball handling skills, just not on KG's level. It's no knock to Giannis. It's just bigging up KG's ball handling skills.
All right, Swipe and Mars. You said you agree with Chill.
Yep.
Start Giannis.
Yep.
Okay.
See, I went when at the beginning of this, when Swiper was like, "Oh, this should be easy. We should all." I thought Swiper was thinking what I was thinking. I was 100% taken aback by the fact that y'all didn't start KG.
All right. Well, in that category, Giannis is starting. Tim Duncan is cut.
Shit, I'm not even sure if Giannis got better handles than Tim Duncan.
My man, Big Eye.
Yes,
All right.
Tim Duncan's ball handling skills are very underrated.
No, he
I
nice
agree.
with the peel.
No, I
won't
agree.
argue that.
I agree.
I will not argue that. Yes.
Underrated for sure. No, he's
Yes.
just not KG or Giannis with it. But.
Well,
Yeah,
it depends
you're
on where
right,
you got him
you're right.
rated, Mars. I mean, like when you think about big men in the game, where do you think Tim Duncan is as a ball handler? And I don't just mean just a distributor throwing the ball into the second row. I'm just talking about I got the ball on the string. Where is he when we talking about big guys? Is he up there? Is he nice with the peel like Joker?
Who?
No.
Who we talking about?
Duncan.
You
No,
talking about Duncan?
I mean, I've never. He not Chris Webber. He not.
That's what I'm talking about.
Jokic,
These
he
are
not
the guys that I
Embiid.
was getting to. How about Barkley?
No.
No Barkley, no Webber. How about
No.
Sheed?
No.
You're not. It's got to definitely cut.
I've
Tim
never
Duncan.
thought about where I rank him. I just I think he's he could handle the ball, and people just, I guess, don't
Right.
talk about the fact that he could do that. That's why I
Sure.
mean by underrated. I don't know where he
Yeah.
actually ranks.
Right.
Definitely cut Tim Duncan in this one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. Moving along to the next category. And by the way, Kevin Garnett packed up Tim Duncan in the 3-point shooting category. So as of right now, let me just go ahead and share this screen so you guys can see what it's looking like as of right now. Well, let me hide these topics. I don't want you guys to get ahead of yourself. This is what we're looking at right now. Oh, well, that's a fact.
It's too late now.
Perimeter defense, Kevin Garnett won. Athleticism, Giannis won. 3-point shooting, Kevin Garnett won. Handles, Giannis won. Next, we're moving along to mid-range game. And you get a chance to categorize this however you want, but who was just better in the mid-range? And obviously, this is related to scoring.
Duncan.
I
has
hope
been
this
running
is a sweep.
Duncan had a money mid-range game. Holy shit! But so
This should be
Garnett.
easy, y'all. This should be
So
easy.
I hope this is a sweep. I really
No.
do.
I'm gonna take Garnett in the mid-range. I'm gonna bench Duncan, and I'm gonna cut Giannis.
Same.
Yes.
Same.
Ooh,
Three
say that
across
one
the
more
board.
time.
Garnett,
KG,
Duncan,
Giannis,
Garnett,
KG,
Duncan,
Duncan.
and then Giannis. 3 across the
Yes.
board, and then it's whatever Ox says.
Garnett,
yeah,
start
'cause I-
Garnett.
I thought we were starting Tim Duncan on this one. I'm saying I thought we was all on the same page.
I'm not that
yeah.
far away from you because
So,
Duncan had a money
I'm-
mid-range game.
I'm
Yes,
starting
he did.
I'm starting Tim Duncan.
What
benching
is
KG.
He had a money mid-range game, Mars.
Oh,
That left elbow, that mid-range at the free throw
100%.
line, that right elbow,
That bank shot?
that
What?
bank
Get
line.
out of here, bro. I'm starting Tim Duncan, no doubt about it. Come on, man. Stop playing
Mars,
with
so
me.
I'm with Ox, Mars. I
got
thought Tim
Tim
Duncan was
Duncan,
definitely
KG,
gonna
Giannis.
start.
But
I
I
thought we
think-
was on the same page.
I think-
Hold on,
Let's
Mars.
go.
I need your explanation. I got
Garnett
Why is
because
Kevin Garnett better than Tim Duncan?
He shot more. He made a higher percentage. He did more off the bounce. He shot from more areas of the court. Like, I don't know. What more do you want? What more explanation is there needed? Like, the numbers say it's KG. The volume says it's KG. The degree of difficulty says it's KG. The amount of spots he was effective from says it's KG. Shooting from further out says it's KG. All of it points to KG. But somehow it's Giannis because not yet. But somehow it's Duncan because he made a bank shot. Like, I guess.
I think the separator on is off the bat. For me, it was off the bounce with KG because KG could stop and pop that thing. Yes, he could, and even not like Dunk. You say that I know. Not like Dunk.
No, but
not
he
like
wasn't hitting
Tim-
that.
No, Swiper. Tim had a face up, jab
Yes.
step.
Yeah, it was
Pull
great.
up.
Yes, he
That's
would.
you don't
He'll
need
get
nothing
you off
more
of
than
him.
that. If I can open up reverse pivot,
I think
jab,
KG had
to
a
the
jab
right,
step too.
boom.
Mhm.
I didn't say he did it, but I'm
He will
saying
get you off of him.
there's nothing you can do when Tim Duncan catches the ball 12, 13, 14, 15 feet away from the basketball, the rim opens up. Bro, you're cooked, bro. You're cooked. Tim Duncan got this for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because the mid range isn't necessarily just open up shooting. You know what I'm saying? He can, he got a never mind, Swiper. You got it, brother.
No, you 6 feet.
No, I'm not.
At least we agreed that Giannis
I'm not
is getting
gonna talk to you while you doing that shit to me. Nah, go ahead, bro. We can move on.
I'm just rubbing my face.
Nah, you got it, bro.
Swiper got allergies.
Nah, bro, I'm cool. Move on, Ryan.
That is true.
I'm not
Actually,
gonna be up here playing with niggas, bro. Come on, move on.
Okay.
I think
That's category.
KG mid-range being underrated, in my opinion. But
Because he got crowded, Ron. Like Ox just talked about. Duncan to catch it at the elbow. Duncan to catch it at the free throw line. He'll face you up and jab and get you off of him. But sometimes guys didn't move. So he had to create space. And how did Garnett create that space? With that one dribble with the weak hand, pull up right there in the mid-range. Swinging through, one dribble with the right hand, pulling up in the mid-range. I think that's where the separator was. Even when he got pushed away from the box, and Kevin Garnett didn't get pushed off the box a lot because he played, I feel like, in a more physical league. But whenever he did get pushed off the block, he would face you up, jab and go, one dribble, cash, jab, crossover, one dribble, pull up, cash. Garnett was money in that mid-range.
I forgot about that one dribble pull up.
I'm just saying.
you forgot about his bread and butter.
Swear I
game.
forgot. Well,
That was his
but see,
game.
you know what though? You know what? I used to think when I was around that age, I used to think that shit was boring. Out of both of them, I used to think when Tim Duncan used to catch the ball, when he used to face up, do the little jab and then shoot the bank shot. See, like, man, that shit is boring. And then when Kevin Garnett used to catch it and do this one dribble pull up, I used to be like, man, can we see something? Because they used to make highlights and do exciting stuff. I used to be
That's
like,
a 6'11" guy, by the way, Ron. That's doing
no,
that.
for sure. I'm saying this is me as a pup.
Right.
As I got older, I was like, yo, that's very skilled. That's
Yes.
textbook. That's where you need to be. That's how how Mars just said. That's bread and butter.
Right.
So now, after you saying that, I'm like, yo,
Not chill.
KG
chill.
gotta get to that.
The move of
one dribble
KG, the move of KG is on that baseline, and I'm telling you, chill. I cannot stop trying to do this move. This is the only move I wanted to hit. When you come this way and spin off back baseline and that fadeaway.
So where he at? So he's on the right.
That's
So he's on the right. He's on the right box, or is he in the mid range?
Mid range. He either way. So in the mid post, you catch it, and then when you face up this, when you rip through to the middle, take one dribble and spin back baseline. But instead of like going to the rim, he kind of fade away this way. Oh, that was so pretty like that. Yeah. Anything on the baseline that fade away, because you know KG shoot it back here. So when you come off that baseline, that's
his baseline doesn't stack up to Brandon Bass. His baseline doesn't stand.
Oh well, maybe not.
That's
that was crazy.
Someone in the chat, Eli asked, it depends on what you value, versatility or production. KG cleared him in both departments. Like it's really not close statistically in terms of producing. In the regular season, KG for his career took over 50% of his shots from mid-range and shot over 45%. Tim Duncan took less than 30% or around 30% and shot, bear with me. No, he shot about 33% and was around 40%. So that it clears for KG. In the postseason, Tim Duncan's around 30% of his shots from mid-range and shot 38%. KG, once again, in the playoffs, shot 50% of his shots from mid-range and shot 44%. He clears.
Now, wait a minute, Mars.
Volume-wise, versatility-wise, over the course of their careers. Like
it is skewed, chill. It's very skewed.
The reason why that's skewed, Mars.
But you can't say production, and then production is clearly KG.
Well, wait a minute though, Mars. The reason why that's skewed because we can't take away from the fact that KG did have a stretch for 7 straight years where he's bounced in round 1, which means that Tim Duncan. I'm going deeper into the playoffs, which means I'm seeing better defenders, and if I'm seeing better defenders, I'm having to take tougher shots than what KG is having to take. So if I'm only seeing a guy in round 1, as opposed to prime example. I'll give you a
KG from 08 to 2012 in Boston shot better percentages in the playoffs than Duncan ever did from mid-range. He was still 43. He was still 43%. That's old KG going far in the playoffs when he wasn't even in his prime anymore. And that was still KG doing that. He's still 04 playoffs. He's still what did he shoot? Oh, shock again, 43% when he went far in the playoffs again. KG shoots better when he goes far in the playoffs, where he gets knocked out in round 1. If anything, getting knocked out in round 1 gives you a smaller sample size, so you have a bad shooting game, your percentages look worse, which is why when he was getting knocked out in round 1, you see rounds where he's actually shooting horribly in mid-range because he doesn't have enough rounds to actually rectify the situation. You end up going 6 for 17 in a 3-game series. Guess what? You shot 33% in the playoffs. Correct. Tim Duncan didn't have that because he was going far in the playoffs. So a smaller sample size can skew the numbers, I agree. But when I get a whole career sample size in the playoffs of 143 games and his percentage beats Tim Duncan by 5%, and he's shooting way more jumpers than Tim Duncan ever did because he shot 50% of his shots from mid-range and Tim Duncan shot 30% of his shots from mid-range in the playoffs, and yet his percentage is still higher. And even when he went further in the playoffs, his percentage was still higher. The production says KG was better. The eye test says KG was better. The degree of difficulty says KG was better. The versatility says KG was better. Any metric, whether that's your eyes or the stats, say KG was better in the mid-range. However,
I was going the other way. I was going the other way with it, chill. I didn't know he was going to bring up playoffs and stuff like that. I was simply going to say he probably shot more mid-range jump shots than Tim Duncan because Tim Duncan had more block work. Tim Duncan was more going to the rim. So it's like this. You can shoot more. You can shoot. Though. You can. I know it's a fact. I know it's a fact. That's why I said it. If you can shoot, you can shoot more threes than me. That doesn't mean you just shoot better from 3 than me. That means I'm doing other shit because I could do this better than you. Tim Duncan had more block work than KG. He's going to the rack more than KG. KG can shoot. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the numbers are to me. Now, mind you. Maybe KG might be nicer from the mid-range. Maybe I'm wrong here, but I think Tim Duncan was. But I also think that the fact that he shot more, like I said, just reiterating my point, has more to do with the fact that Tim Duncan had more on the block.
Better in other area. But we're gonna get. I'm assuming post game's there, and I'm with you. I'm sure KG shot more mid-ranges out of necessity. I'm not. If there's a category for just better scorer, I'll give my opinion. But if the question is just mid-range. Respectfully, him being better at the rim and being better in the post because he can do more things doesn't matter. KG was better in the mid-range, maybe because he had to be better in the mid-range because he couldn't get to the rim like Duncan could, or he couldn't post up like Duncan could. Cool. But if we're talking strictly in the mid-range, I don't care. Kevin Durant is probably the best mid-range player in the league right now. He doesn't get to the rim, so maybe he's better in the mid-range because he has to be. But I'm not going to be like, oh, well, really, Shai's better in the mid-range because, Shai can get to the rim too because he drives. Like, I'm not about to do that because I was just talking about the mid-range. I don't care about the other aspect.
Yeah, but that's not why I did that. That's not why I said that.
I'm because someone's talking about same Eli guy. He shot more, but Tim Duncan's was more valuable. I'm
right. Yeah, well, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying. I think the numbers as far as like the volume. I think he had more of a volume than Tim Duncan in that area, just because Tim Duncan was doing
because Tim Duncan could do things in other areas better. Yes,
right.
Ron, can I please address this, Ron?
Go ahead.
When
Who
we
you about to
had
cook?
when I went up against Dion in the PCL, at the end of it, I won the votes. I lost later on.
Yes.
I didn't. Is that correct, Mars?
Yes.
I won the votes. So I later on found out that I lost. That's what happened. So y'all goofy asses in the chat just looking for attention, talking about I'm old. I initially thought that I won because that's what I thought from what had happened. I had won initially. Later on, I found out that I lost. I didn't know that. So get your story straight when you talk to me.
Straight
ass niggas.
All right. The next category is rebounding. Start, bench, cut.
This is where it gets tricky.
This is hard. This is gonna be a hard one.
This is difficult. I think
this is gonna get tricky because now, Mars, you mentioned it a little while ago when you talked about you mentioned a little when you talked about Giannis with the 3-point shot. Well, what do you guys value the most? I had this conversation earlier today when I talked about prime and peak. And what would I rather? Would I rather a guy who was awesome for 3 or 4 years than a guy who was great for 10 or 11 years? So when I think about this in terms of a rebounder, Duncan, Garnett, I'm cutting Giannis.
That's tough.
I'm starting KG. I'm starting KG, benching Duncan, cutting Giannis.
Yeah, I mean KG playoff rebounding better than all of anybody else on this list.
I mean, even regular season, I think he led the league way more than Duncan did. I think. I might just make.
Yeah, he did. I think he led the league like 3 or 4 times.
He led the league 4 straight years.
Yeah, I think he led the league 3 or 4 times. But with that being said, Duncan was right there. So like Duncan, like Garnett's averaging 13 rebounds, Duncan's averaging 12. So they're right there.
But Giannis got like a 44 and 20 and 6 game, a 38 and 20 game in the playoffs.
Swiper, stop it, Swiper. Duncan got 20 games in the finals.
I'm factoring in that there are more possessions today. So like 12 rebounds today is not the same as 12 rebounds.
Right.
Rebounding rates. Let's look those up.
We can look at rebounding rates.
I don't want to cut anybody in this
16 or 33 and 17.
Yeah, they're all great rebounders. I'm not gonna be like, you started this guy. How dare you?
I want to have a depth chart with 3 bigs. I want to go. Everybody get 16 minutes right now. I don't really, this is rough, bro. For real, this ain't cool. But I got to start KG though. Like, got to start KG.
And who are you benching?
That sucks.
Yeah, I got to bench Giannis. I don't want to. I think these are 3 amazing rebounders. You know what I'm saying? And not just your typical wait for the ball to come to you type rebounders. I'm talking about go get it. You know what I'm saying? Like watch the ball off the rim, box out. But because some people are lazy, they just box out and then let somebody else get them. I'm talking about these 3 are dudes that'll hit you and go get the ball, real ball hawk types. This is probably the toughest category, but I'm gonna go ahead and start KG and bench Tim Duncan.
Giannis has made it so that we just forget Brook Lopez is a horrible rebounder because the Bucks don't have rebounding problems.
Giannis was 12th in defensive rebound rate last year and 23rd in offensive rebound rate, which is pretty elite.
He was crushing that offensive glass this past year a lot more than he has.
I don't think Brook Lopez has ever been a double-digit rebounder in his career.
Really? Not even with Brooklyn?
No, I don't think he ever averaged double.
I'll check, but I mean, Brook Lopez the fact that Brook Lopez not being a good rebounder doesn't get spoken about.
I don't think he ever averaged double-figure rebounds.
His career high is 8.6.
He never averaged double-figure rebounds ever. Not one time.
And that was in year 2.
No, Bam Adebayo has a higher rebound rate than Giannis does. That's surprising.
Yeah, Bambi working. Bambi leads in the league, percentage of rebounds that you collect while you're on the floor.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, Bambi working for those rebounds. He be leading the league in box outs. He be getting contested. Like Bambi fighting. I mean, and he has to because he's only like 6'9". Yeah, Bam's motor is ridiculous. But yeah, it's a testament to Giannis that Brook Lopez being a bad rebounder just gets slept on because the Bucks just don't have rebounding problems. Because Giannis
so at their apex, also too, I'm looking at the in the mid 2000s chill. Kevin Garnett total rebound, his rebound percentage was like second in the league to Dampier at the time, and he was like only one of 2 players.
Shout out here. Shout out there. Hey, I used to go to work with Eric Dampier in NBA Live.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I used to go to work, and this is before the 2K days. I'm talking about I would stay with Damp as my center.
I'm gonna tell you, Ron, not just him, right? But there's some bigs from Dallas that get slept on. And I'm not trying to say like they're all time
Are we
great.
talking about Job?
I'm talking about Job. I'm
Shout
talking
out
about
Job.
Samuel Dellenberg. I'm talking about Dan Pierce. What's wrong with Dellenberg? Chill. You don't like Dellenberg?
No, he was good. He was good with Philly.
Chill.
Come on, chill.
Philly.
What about Philly? That's what I'm about to say. Something. What about with Philly?
You are
don't
not
like
finna
Samuel
disrespect
Dellenberg?
Huerta.
Him and Iggy was nice, Chill.
What?
Dallas.
Chill. You don't like Dellenberg? Dellenberg?
I'm still stuck on this Garnett Duncan thing. I ain't even talking about Eric Dan.
Oh, okay.
I'm still stuck on
Like, those,
That's what I'm.
because
Because again, I can't.
Bigs,
I just care about what you do for a long time. Duncan averaged double-figure rebounds for almost 15 years. For almost 15 years, Duncan almost averaged double-figure rebounds.
Yeah.
Garnett didn't average double-figure rebounds for a decade. Don't get me wrong. This goes back to my original logic of, do I value a guy who does something awesome for a short period of time and he's awesome, as opposed to a guy who's great for longer?
Hold up, Chill. Hold up,
I think that's because Duncan played closer to the basket, though.
But
Did he though, Mark?
I'm
on
gonna
both
get back
sides
to
he
this
did,
though.
yeah.
Remember, Chill, you can't do that. Remember,
Why not?
just earlier this episode, I just let you know why Kevin Garnett's stats dropped off. When he went Celtics, Doc Rivers literally just stopped playing him the minutes that he should have been playing. Kevin Garnett, I'm gonna say this from 2000 to 2007, while he was on the Wolves.
Right.
40 minutes per game. 39, 40, 39, 38, 39. All of a sudden, he goes to the Celtics. 32, 31, 29.
Well, he's
31,
older.
31.
At that point.
What do you mean, Ron?
No, he was not older. What?
Wrong.
He's
He's
literally
32
older.
years
That's
old.
what happens. Every day you get older.
Okay, so is Giannis old? No. Is Giannis old?
He's older than he was yesterday.
Is Giannis old right now today? Yes or no?
At 29 years old?
No, he's not. Okay, Kevin Garnett wasn't old at 30. What are you
He was
talking
30
about?
But wait a minute. He was still playing in Minnesota at that point. And we've seen guys fall off a cliff in 2 years. We've seen
It's
guys
31
decline.
old.
KG
It's 31
didn't
old.
fall off a cliff.
I ain't saying he fell off a cliff. I'm saying I'm talking about the
It's
guy declining or
31
going the other
old.
way.
Can you guys answer my question? It's 31
He's
old.
trying-
KG wasn't old when he first got to.
No, he wasn't old, Ron, but his coach was trying to lessen his minutes to stretch out his career a little bit, Ron. That's what a good coach would do.
Because Duncan's minutes went down
Why would I keep
too.
playing you 40 minutes a game?
No, I understand that. But
Only
don't say
Tom
that they're
Thibodeau's that
old.
type of psychopath.
31 is not old.
And Terry
32 is not old. 33, 34 is not old.
Hey man, Clint Capella don't get no love. He's been at the top of the rebounding race last 4 or 5
Clint
years.
Capella?
Man.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, we did just talk about Samuel Dellenberg.
Yeah, Clint Capella can rebound, but like, I think a big part of like why KG's raw rebounding numbers do go down in part because like, I mean, he was playing next to Kendrick Perkins who could rebound, and like Rondo started getting bored. So like, regular just rebounds per game like can be skewed depending on who's around you and stuff, and also the minutes going down by 8 minutes. Yeah, that's going to affect his rebounds. But like KG post meniscus just wasn't the same rebounder he was anyway. Like he did just get worse.
Still getting to it though, Marsh.
Yeah, he's still a good rebounder. He's a good rebounder. He wasn't the same guy.
Would KG and Duncan be the best rebounders in the league right now?
That's a lot.
Would who?
Would they be the best rebounders in the league right now?
Who?
KG
and Duncan?
I'm not gonna lie, man. Sabonis be on that glass for real.
Yes,
well, I'm looking at these names.
I think KG would be one of the better rebounders. I think
Capella.
Man, give Andre Drummond enough minutes. He's the best rebounder in the league still.
But Anthony Davis,
right?
His rebound rate is wild.
It's amazing.
He's been really good the last 3 years.
I think he leads the league in contested rebounds too. I think, or somewhere close to it. And you know how much I value my contested rebounds. But like,
Swiper,
yeah, they're amazing.
I need you to give your start bench cut rebounding Giannis, Duncan, Garnett. What?
I don't want to do this one.
Nope, that's not the way
you can't
this
just
works.
not do it.
No, that's not the way this works. What is it? What is
Are
it?
you quitting?
What is it, Swiper?
Swiper, you throwing in the towel right now?
He's thinking, man. Let him think. I mean, this is one that I like. I'm really not standing on the order I said. Like, I could. It's not even about being convinced. It's like
Swiper got the biggest brain here. He don't need
facts. He knows the win shares for 48 points.
Well, if you're right. It's really more about who has the most ridges in their brain. The size doesn't really matter all that much. I would say.
See what I'm saying? You see,
bro, this is tough, man. Chill. I mean, I'm probably gonna say KG Duncan, Giannis, but they're all, you know what I mean? I'll take any one of them. You know?
That's why I
give me a board at the end of the game.
Yeah. You say, oh, you're not starting Giannis. I'm like, well, I could start Giannis tomorrow.
What do you care about? What do you value when you talk about a glass cleaner, Mars? What do you look for? For example,
obviously, contested rebounds.
I was about to say contested rebounds. I care about when you did it, how important these rebounds are, who you doing it against, and how often are you doing it. And when I'm thinking about Duncan, I'm thinking about a big who was playing in a big man era with Garnett, playing against other big guys who were also glass cleaners. And how did he fare against these guys? Do you care about what Garnett did in a short period of time, or do you care? Do you value more? Do I value more what Garnett did in a short period of time, 4 or 5 years, as opposed to what Duncan did throughout?
Yeah, the longevity part is something I probably neglected when I just rattled off KG, Duncan, Giannis. I mean,
which one would be the best clutch rebounder?
Who do I just trust? Who do I rely on?
Like
who do I trust to get a
we
rebound?
have to secure the board.
Duncan.
Duncan's the one closest to the rim, like just naturally on defense, because Giannis is a roamer. KG's more playing on the outside too. Duncan was the one who was played closer to the basket, which is, I think that's something I factored in when I said Duncan second, because I think the regular rebounding numbers are going to come easier to someone closer to the basket, and Duncan between all of them plays closer to the rim. But if I need a rebound, who do I trust to get it?
I mean,
I'd probably say KG, because I think he had the highest motor.
Bro, and he would get so high on those rebounds. Like, can you get to the mesh point before everybody else? And then, like, can you, like, bow people off of you if you need to? Like, I just feel like it might have been KG.
When we talk about motors, Mars, and since we're on the subject of motors, because it wasn't rah-rah and it wasn't in your face, does that negate Tim Duncan in terms of his motor? Because I don't know if there's a guy who played harder than him. I don't.
Kevin Garnett?
I don't know, man. Because
I think KG's motors might be the highest motor of all time, personally. I can count on single hands the amount of plays I've seen him give up on. Like, he sees something, he's trying to stop it. Him, Draymond Green has a crazy motor. Giannis had one a few years ago. His motor was ridiculous. I think it's starting to wane a little bit with more offensive responsibility. Tim Duncan had a really good motor, but there was also times where it's like he knew he didn't have to like fully exert himself on the play because he knew we had David Robinson behind him. Like, I can remember plays where Tim Duncan wouldn't go after something because he knows he's got David Robinson on the backside. KG couldn't rely on Mike Waller-Wakanji. So he was there having to try and cover up everything. He was running up and down the floor like a headless chicken, both sides. In playing 40 minutes a game, he was doing that running in the fourth quarter. Like, so KG for me, motor is something. I can't question KG's motor. Like, it's not about the rah-rah loud stuff. I don't really care about that, but I just think he just didn't give up on plays and run on a spree right now, timing people out. But
listen,
Ron, stop being Mussolini.
Listen,
why you banning people? What happened?
Nothing. Don't worry.
He getting cooked in the chat, so he mad.
Ron be acting like Mussolini, bro.
Next category.
Started with you. I was defending you.
Next category.
I don't need no help. I'm having fun with these bozos.
Next category, though, we got finishing.
Oh, this should be easy. This should be
and also right quick. L. James B. The Tigers, the Pistons, and the Red Wings all suck. Go ahead.
Oh man,
this should be unanimous. If this is not unanimous, I'm shocked.
I'm gonna start Giannis. I'm gonna bench Duncan. I'm gonna cut KG.
Yes, Giannis, Duncan, KG.
Ox.
I gotta agree with that. We're talking about finishing, right?
Yeah.
Giannis is in the Shaq LeBron territory, respectfully. He's different.
I mean, yeah. When you have the ability to dunk everything, you
do that. Not only do you have the ability to do it, you actually do that.
Yeah, exactly. And you actually punching it. Got to go with Giannis.
Whether we're in transition, we're in the half court, I'm doing it on, and I don't want to be put on a poster. So they're basically, it's Moses. You know, it's the part in the Red Sea when Giannis is coming down the lane.
But Duncan's touch was crazy.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And he never finished, and he bet like Duncan.
Especially with the
Duncan
weekend.
Weird, man. Duncan weird. Duncan is so weird.
The reason why, Mars, is because it wasn't pleasing on the aesthetics. That's why. Duncan was boring. Years ago, when I was younger and I'm watching Tim Duncan, I'm sitting on the couch and I'm falling asleep watching this guy. And then I turn on the TV the next day and it's 27, 14, and 3 blocks. And I'm like, Bozo, you missing the show. Wake up. What are you doing? You are missing the show. This guy is awesome. And I'm watching this dude bank shot off the glass, bank shot off the glass, bank shot off the glass. And I'm thinking, so keep doing it.
If
Fellas.
Duncan didn't play in the era with Shaq, his strength would be praised so much more. He was so
Yes, it
strong.
would be 100%.
When Shaq's
Fellas.
in the era, it's like,
We got to run through these next categories fairly quickly.
damn, you got a lot of categories. Oh
yeah,
my God.
I got a bunch, so we got to go ahead and get through them. All right.
Okay.
Transition.
Oh, this should be easy.
Giannis,
KG, Duncan.
I'm starting Giannis. Again, I'm benching KG and I'm cutting
Yes,
Duncan.
Giannis, KG, Duncan.
All
I was trying to start KG, but he knows he can't be hit right
No,
now. He knows.
I'm looking for a way, but I can't. You got to start
Yeah.
Giannis.
Yeah,
All
All
right.
right.
Next, we got intangibles. Mars, this can be setting screens. This can be
Oh, this is
playing off ball.
Yeah,
This
they
can be-
go-
Duncan, KG, Giannis for sure. Intangibles.
KG, Duncan, Giannis.
Whichever, both of them.
Yeah.
The Giannis is last. That's for sure.
Okay, I'm not. I think
Get
Giannis
Giannis
has,
up out of here.
yeah, I'm
He's not the
starting
screener
I'm start- yeah,
Or the
I'm
or the
starting-
work hard player. Either of these players are.
I'm starting KG, benching Duncan, Giannis.
All right, Ox and Chill.
I'm starting Duncan. I'm benching KG, and I'm cutting Giannis.
I'm also
Ox.
starting Duncan. Benching KG.
All right.
Cutting Giannis.
Tim Duncan gets the start in this category. All right, next we're moving to efficiency. Who's more efficient?
Giannis, Duncan, KG.
I'm gonna
Giannis
say
got 60% from the field and 30 points. I mean,
and where is that? Where is that though, Swiper?
where is it? It's all at the rim. That's what I'm saying. It's all at the rim.
I
a lot of
mean,
that stuff is at the
that's
rim.
well, efficiency doesn't really care where you shoot from,
Right.
unless you're shooting threes. Then it cares. But
I'm gonna start Duncan. I'm gonna bench Garnett, and I'm cutting Giannis.
What? How he
so
shot
we don't
82
have time to debate that.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. He shot 82% at the
can make
rim.
time.
on
Oh,
yeah.
500 attempts.
He shot 82% at the rim.
So
I'm-
is
I am-
Is Shaq not more efficient than both of these players?
But I am thinking about the-
efficiency isn't subjective though. Like this is the one thing that isn't subjective.
But I'm thinking
There's
of what
factual
I'm
numbers about efficiency.
absolutely
Giannis
100%. I am okay. So I'm thinking about the other stuff too. I'm not just thinking about at the rim.
But that doesn't make any sense. His field
Why
goal
doesn't it make
percentage-
any sense? Because
Chill, his
how big is the
field
gap?
goal percentage is higher
But now
than
you're
all of them.
but now you're factoring in versatility.
Doesn't that
It's
matter?
just
No,
it's just who's, no,
it's
not in
efficient.
an efficiency.
He's more
conversation.
efficient than any one of
We're
them.
talking efficiency as you can take every shot at the rim. If you're more efficient than someone who takes every shot from mid range, you're more efficient.
Don't let these dudes knock you off your pivot shit.
I'm not.
No, but like efficiency isn't some like, and this is what confusing. Efficiency isn't something to be debated. This guy is more efficient than that guy. Fact. Now, is he better because he's more efficient? Let's have the conversation.
So,
But factually, Giannis is more efficient than all of these guys. Now, in the playoffs, it can get a bit shaky. Duncan might be more efficient in the playoffs, depending on beats and all those things. But regular season wise, Giannis clears these guys in terms of efficiency.
that's a rim.
And KG is very far last. Very far last. No disrespect, but very far last. But it's Giannis, Duncan, KG.
I got Duncan, Giannis, KG.
You got Duncan, Giannis, KG.
I don't understand.
I
I
get
mean,
why Ox is doing it.
Duncan's more efficient from more areas on the court.
Right.
But like
That's
overall,
what, and that's
but
what I'm
overall
thinking. That's what I'm
efficiency is-
factoring in. Versus, I like Mars. I can't just value the fact that you are efficient more at the rim than anywhere else. Meanwhile, I'm efficient everywhere. I might not be efficient as you at the rim, but the gap isn't nearly as close in other places.
Well, if that's the
between you
case,
and I.
why
But
is
it
Luka
goes-
the
it
best
goes
scorer in the
back
league?
to-
And
It goes back to the mid-range conversation of like Duncan versus KG because Duncan could do more. Like, cool, but if we're talking about who's more efficient, Giannis doesn't need to be efficient from mid-range because he just didn't shoot that many because he could just get to the rim every time, and therefore his scoring was more efficient because he's not taking 35% mid-range jumpers. Instead, he's opting to get all the way to the rim and shoot 80%. So he ends up just being a more efficient scorer because he didn't need to take inherently more inefficient shots for him.
And I can,
Duncan shot like 40% from mid-range, which is better than Giannis.
right,
But the reason he's overall less efficient is because he didn't get to the rim like Giannis,
right.
and he wasn't efficient at the rim like Giannis was. So his volume is lower, his efficiency is lower, and overall, because of the percentage of shots he's taking from each spot, his efficiency overall comes out lower. That's how efficiency works. But in versatility, so you think KD is the most efficient scorer ever?
Do I think KD is the most? I didn't say that.
I'm asking.
I don't think he was more efficient than Jay.
But like from three, the mid range,
Yeah.
the free throw line.
I don't think he was more efficient than Jay.
I'm confused. Okay, never mind. I'm confused.
Swiper. I didn't get yours. Who do you got?
Oh, it's Giannis, Duncan, KG.
KG's efficiency actually gets really questionable.
I'm just thinking about Duncan, like you just Mars. Your stance on Dunk. Oh no, we got to keep going. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, Duncan wins that category. Shout out to Tim Duncan.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was okay.
Next.
Oh, Jalen Green's in the chat. Sorry.
Shout out to JG, man. Hey, JG, can't wait for your breakout season coming up next, and can't wait for y'all to make the play-in tournament. But you guys have a chance to make the playoffs.
Yep.
Passing.
Oh, Giannis, KG, Duncan.
Ooh, you said that quick.
I did.
Big Ox.
KG,
Start,
KG, Giannis
start
Duncan.
KG. Start
Hold on,
KG.
wait. Say that one more time, Morris.
KG, Giannis Duncan.
Giannis is a damn good passer, man.
Crazy. This year, I think is his best passing season.
He is
KG,
damn-
I think he was
Giannis
amazing
Duncan
this year.
for sure.
I think I'm cutting Duncan,
Hey, KG, Giannis, Duncan.
but it's between
Ox.
KG and Giannis in terms of passers. Does Giannis set guys up more in position where they can score as opposed to KG? I think Giannis does. I do. I think he sets guys up because he attracts more attention. So with him attracting more attention, getting downhill, he makes the right pass. And in terms of not just making the right pass, I think he makes better passes. I'm going to start Giannis and I'm going to bench KG.
Not mad at it.
Hey, real quick.
I like that you actually thought about it. Swiper said that so quick.
I mean, I'm just thinking Giannis and ball handling and all that put together with the passing. I think it's better. Anybody play fantasy football up here? No. Dang. Mars, man, get on NFL. Go ahead, Ron.
All right. Next we got IQ.
Well, start Tim Duncan, right?
Duncan, yeah. Duncan, IQ for sure. KG, Giannis.
Well,
I think Giannis is a lot smarter than we give him credit for.
He is. He's very smart. I think those other
Weren't
two
you
are
the one
smart.
that said he needs to turn his brain off?
Yes, I did say that. Yes, I did. And when he
why
does
you guys?
smart,
Why are you guys starting Duncan? What set Duncan's IQ apart for you?
I think
Because
Duncan
he went to college for 4
Defensive,
years.
offensive IQ.
I was about to say that.
Impact IQ, intangible IQ. Being the man IQ, knowing its role IQ, adjusting to David Robinson, another IQ, playing the 5 IQ, playing the 4 IQ, transitioning to being the best defender in the league, late career IQ, being an offensive hub when he needs to be
Moving
IQ,
over to the 5,
passing
wasn't
IQ,
as
off ball IQ, rim running IQ, passing IQ, and the low block IQ, finding the corner shooters IQ.
I don't see what doesn't apply to KG here.
I agree. I think they're also. I don't think they're all upper echelon IQ players.
I think KG being a floor general on the defensive end of the floor really boosts him up.
Defensive communication, understanding personnel, the versatility on defense, being able to play multiple roles, covering up your teammates' mistakes like he could, offensively, being able to be the passer he was. I think his decision making was more erratic than Duncan. Like Duncan, I think was more consistent in terms of decision making offensively in terms of shots. But I'm starting KG, Duncan, Giannis. That's what I'm going with.
Giannis is at the back of this list.
Yeah.
Ox, who you got?
Duncan, KG, Giannis.
All right, Duncan wins.
Chill.
I feel like a lot of these categories are close.
Who you got, Chill?
Duncan, KG, Giannis.
All right.
Boy.
Next up, we got this should be a good one. Post game.
Oh, this should be easy.
Come on, man.
I think. This should be easy.
KG, Duncan, Giannis.
KG
Duncan,
was not
KG,
better on the
Giannis.
box.
Duncan, KG,
No
Giannis.
way. KG was not better on the box than Duncan.
Duncan, KG, Giannis.
Definitely.
Mr. Fundamental, they called KG.
Facts.
So, Swiper. Everybody has Duncan, KG, Giannis?
I do.
Yeah, that's fine. Giannis is the worst post-playing elite big I've ever seen in my life.
Ever?
Jeez.
Damn.
I said elite big.
Elite
role player.
offensive big or like just elite big in general?
Elite offensively inclined big.
Oh, okay. Because I'm gonna be like Rudy Gobert offense.
No. I mean, he's even worse than David Robinson was.
Damn. Next is post defense.
Oh, okay.
Post defense.
Duncan,
KG,
Giannis. Duncan, KG, Giannis.
Giannis can't guard no bigs, bro.
Why is that, by the way?
He's slight.
He's 6'11".
Yeah, he higher center of gravity, able to just get pushed a little bit too much. Similar to Wemby, like similar problem.
So can't we say the same thing for? Can't we say the same thing for Garnett? Garnett wasn't huge.
KG did have, that's why he's below Duncan. I just think he was more disciplined in the post than Giannis was. In part because of the error, he had to defend in the post more, so he had to become more disciplined. But that's why he's not close to Duncan. The higher center of gravity, he got pushed around a bit more, struggled with size and stuff. Duncan is like levels above, in my opinion, in this character.
Y'all got to be careful holding Giannis accountable for these type of things like you're doing. They're gonna start calling you a Giannis hater. Be careful.
Holding him accountable. I think
I think I've been pretty clear about this. I think of these three players, I think Giannis is the worst one here.
We're not allowed to tell the truth. 100%. We're not allowed to tell the truth about Giannis, though.
Everybody has Duncan, KG, Giannis.
Yes,
I do.
Okay. Next is not necessarily post defense, but paint defense. Being able to anchor the paint, being an anchor on defense in general.
only one of them factually was an anchor. The others were more roamers, jack of all trades. So
that was Duncan.
Duncan, KG, Giannis.
Swiper?
Yes.
Which is this?
Paint protector, defensive anchor.
I'm gonna go KG, Duncan, Giannis.
Yeah, Duncan.
How do you interpret the term anchor, Ox?
Anchor, well, I mean, just being that, like I said, being the
defensive leader,
the leader. You know what I'm saying? The one that's facilitating all the defense. You know, pointing everything out. Letting you know you got a cutter. Somebody gets to the corner. You know what I'm saying?
You Lawrence Taylor. You the linebacker. So you the linebacker.
Yeah, you know, watch the screen,
the defensive quarterback.
Making sure you're there. You're bumping the cutters. You know what I mean? You're speaking to everybody. Everybody knows what's going on from behind them. They don't have to.
Duncan? Wasn't Duncan doing that?
I think they were all. I think both of them do it. I just think KG did it. A little bit more to my style of what I like to see.
I just don't view that like by that definition. I can see what you're saying. When I hear anchor, I just interpret Rudy Gobert anchor,
like at the rim, like rim protector.
That's how I view it. Like,
I see that. I see that too. Also, too, Mars. What I'm thinking too is KG's ability to cover up for people. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're not getting to the corner, KG gonna get there. Like, oh, cutter, I'm gonna get there. You know, he's doing multiple. All right, so he's doing multiple things on defense. I'm bumping the cutter. I'm closing out to here. I'm rotating over here, and then I'm boxing out and going to get the rebound. So that's why I look at it. Like he was so multifaceted and had the ability to cover up for all his teammates.
Yeah, with that, I see what you're saying. I understand that.
Chill. Who you got?
Duncan. I'm gonna bench Garnett and I'm gonna cut Giannis.
You know what though? He just made a good point in the chat. We're talking. This is about just paint presence, Ron.
Yeah.
Okay. My bad. I'm talking about overall. My bad, y'all. This is definitely Tim Duncan. Definitely Tim.
So Duncan, KG, Giannis.
Yeah, for sure.
Who's more clutch?
I think Tim Duncan. I don't know, man. I don't know. Think Tim Duncan.
Start Giannis, bench Duncan, cut KG.
I think Tim Duncan always did the right thing for the most part. Like I can't remember many times seeing Tim Duncan like, oh, what are you doing out here? Like it's just, and I've seen that with KG and Giannis. I've seen both of them on the floor. Like, bro, what the hell is he doing? Tim Duncan, I don't think I've ever seen him doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of a game in runs, like at the end of the game. So I would have to go with Tim Duncan. You know what? And I'm gonna cut KG on this one.
That was easy for me, cutting KG. No,
but clutch, this dude be running away from the ball. Hell nah. He don't even want the ball at the end of the games. He be running from the free throw line. Man, hell no. Cut Giannis for sure.
Cutting KG was easy for me.
Chill.
That's the
I'm gonna
only
start.
reason, though, because he be running from that free throw line.
I'm going to start Duncan. I'm going to bench KG, and I'm going to cut Giannis. I got a different idea of what clutch is. Clutch isn't just getting buckets.
I agree with that.
All right, Duncan wins that category. KG is benched. Giannis, you are cut from the clutch category. Overall score. We got 4 more categories, y'all. Let's get through them quick. Overall score.
Giannis,
Overall
Duncan,
scorer?
KG. Giannis, Duncan, KG.
Overall scorer.
Duncan, Giannis, KG.
Giannis, Duncan, KG.
All right, we're going to start Giannis as the overall
Transition is
score.
what the separator is.
Bench Duncan and cut KG as a scorer. Overall defender.
Start
KG,
KG.
Duncan, Giannis.
Start KG, cut Giannis.
Start Duncan, bench KG, cut Giannis.
I can see it.
Mark, say it again. Who do you got?
KG, Duncan, Giannis.
All right, we're going to start KG. Bench Duncan, cut Giannis. The next category that we have is leadership. Who's the better leader out of these 3 guys? Giannis, Duncan, Garnett.
Duncan, KG, Giannis.
I'm not in the look. I don't know what they do.
We do know.
Well, we know that
sold-
Giannis packing up
know-
Drew.
Yeah, we know he sold Drew.
No,
I
we
knew
don't
you was
know
gonna
that.
bring
We
that.
don't
I know
know
you.
that.
I
I
knew
know.
you was gonna
We
bring
don't
that.
know that.
I know.
We don't know that.
I don't
Without
know what. Like, this is just gonna be me. KG. This is where I'm gonna have like the bias towards who's more vocal. KG. I could visually see his leadership on the court, defensively, offensively. How much it meant to him in terms of winning. How little he blames other people, even when Minnesota stunk. How he took that on his own shoulders. I don't know if you guys seen the interview in 05 when this T-Wolves stunk, and he was literally crying. Like, it bothered him.
Talking to Coach John Thompson. Yep.
Yeah, like those type of things. So I'm a start KG, bench Duncan, cut Giannis, but like there's no way for me to measure this. I'm not going to stand on this and be like, yeah, this is why. I don't know.
All right.
I'm starting Duncan. I don't think that there was a guy that was more willing to do whatever was necessary. There were guys who were willing to do what was necessary. I don't think that there was a guy who was more willing to do what was necessary, and he took less money too. On top of that,
That's the big part right there.
In order for them to
you're
win.
right. Yeah,
So,
you're
The
right.
pay cuts.
I didn't think about that.
I'll start Tim Duncan, Giannis and KG. Between the two of those guys, I mean, KG could be a bit scary with his leadership. I mean, I saw him make Big Baby cry. You big baby, quit crying, you big baby. Giannis is more of a different type of leader. So I'm going to bench Giannis and I'm going to cut KG.
I mean, Giannis get animated when he needs to as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fellas, we got some super chats. I'm gonna go ahead and dive into these. Want to shout out to all of our Hall of Famers: Kendall Daniels, Hutton Gilgores, Jerry Ality, Arch, he's in the chat right now. Multi Kenny, he's been in the chat today, and Cobra Son of Raditz. I need one of you guys up here this Friday. So y'all hit me. Let me know which one of y'all want to come up for Hall of Fame Fridays, and we will have you guys up. Salute to all of you guys, and salute to everybody else that's a member as well. Let's go ahead and get into it. 2 Clutch C became a member today. Mir became a member today. 6 Mile T became a member today. Toonami became a member today. Crazam became a member today. Salute to all of you guys. Andrew G sent through a member's chat. He's been a member for 11 months. He said top player in future is Tatum. Got your back, Chill.
Yeah, Duke's gonna be the best player in the league. 2048.
Styles Blackman in the house said, so they changed the entire way it works because they didn't like that Russ was dominating it, and y'all take it serious enough to use it in your debates.
I mean, you know, I've never unironically used VOR BPM. I stay away from those things. The peak of my advanced stats, relative true shooting, net ratings. That's about as far as I'm gonna go with these advanced stats.
I read this earlier, but Arch said dub PC.
Dub Arch.
Heat versus Haters 2.0. with the members chat said we need the NBA back, chill. In his we need the NBA back, chill in his MJ Wizards form.
I am desperate for the NBA back.
MJ was balling for the Wizards, though.
Marquivian Black has been a member for 14 months. He said, "Peace to the panel." Timmy clears. I am your God. 76 sent through a members chat. He said, "I love the show. However, Swiper needs to let us know what was distracting Karl Malone in the 90s."
We don't need to know. I don't need to know what's going on in that man's head. Yeah, I don't need to know.
Art sent through a super chat. He said, "Dub PC."
Thank you.
DeSarmo said, "We all know who's behind the stats, quote unquote, kitchen sink. They all seem to be Jokic fans. Stats didn't save him when he was gassed up, chucking threes versus the Wolves when he finally had to play a decent team, playing champ."
The Jokic stats make sense except the defensive ones.
Alan L said 25-year-old Braun or 25-year-old Luka. Give me Braun, but I think it's close. And L Ox, by the way.
Is 25-year-old Braun 09?
That's 09 Braun. Yes.
Thanks,
give me
Alan.
Braun.
I appreciate you.
If that's 09, give me Braun.
Yes, that's Braun.
Give me Braun.
Alan, and I'm always rooting for you, bro. Don't let anybody take your lunch money unless it's me. I got your back, Alan.
Chill, didn't you have a question for Mars before the show started?
I forgot what we were talking about.
Oh, you remember it was?
Oh, no.
Yes or no?
Oh,
read the super chats. Damn.
I thought that was an important question.
Yes or no. Read the super chats.
KM7, that is just not true. I am with the modern day game. So that's just not true, sir. I just don't see the game like you do. I am with the modern day game. It is not 1987. And your brain can't expand past that. Mine can.
Chill. That is the one. That
shit makes me crazy.
That is the one goofball in the chat that we show no love to. Chill.
I am adjusted to the game. The game
we
is
should
not,
not speak
not
on?
1987.
Yeah.
Ron, read the super chat.
All the people, chill. You cannot address him. That he does not.
I just don't like that, Ox. That I'm stuck in the past because I'm older, and I'm not. I'm not stuck in the past. And my thinking is not stuck in the 90s. No, it's not.
All the other chat trolls, I got big love for, but him.
KM7, for what it's worth, brother, I think you all right. Now you cool with me as far as I'm concerned. Boyd Century said, "Watch the Power Forward List episode over the weekend and was surprised to see Chris Bosh wasn't even a honorable mention. Felt like he was as good as Gasol. Can I have the panel thoughts on Chris Bosh?"
I mean, I've thought about him, but my honorable mentions is like the only reason people were honorable mentions is because they were on someone's list. Chris Bosh wasn't able to make my list, so he wasn't an honorable mention. I'm surprised anyone would have put him on there. But he was one of my first few cuts. He wasn't Draymond or Pau Gasol. I think the gap between Pau and Bosh offensively for me was substantial because of the playmaking, the post game, all of those things. But Chris Bosh being able to adapt his game, small ball five, all of those things, tremendous. I think he'd probably be in and around my top 15, maybe just outside it, something like that.
Arch said Dub PC.
Dub Arch.
Your boy Corey54 said Lamar Jackson won his MVPs because his receiving group is always some of the worst in the NFL, and he still somehow just absolutely cooks the league. Gandhi KV2 said Chilltown is so biased. Be honest, Chill.
I don't even know he was biased towards. Chill. Stop being biased, man.
Gandhi KV2 said Chilltown's still the best at PC, though. My money on him at PCL.
Yeah, Dion gonna give him that work again.
MP13 said, I came in to hear Duncan shoots better mids than KG. The hell is going on right now? Are we just trying to be different now or something? Gandhi KV2 said, never mind. Ox is biased.
Of course, I'm biased when I disagree with you.
Then Gandhi KV2 said, KG better than Tim. Just accept it, Chill.
It's a conversation.
Arch said Dub PC.
Dub Arch.
Tito El Bandito said, Marge, just say it. You taking Harden over Wade, huh?
Taking Manager Ginobili over both of them.
Cook. Marquivian Black said 94 Shaq versus today's Giannis. Who better? Who you take?
I'm taking Giannis.
Here we go, y'all.
We ain't got time. I'm taking Giannis.
He already answered the question.
Yeah, I'm taking Giannis.
Harley Biscuit Jungla said, year 1, Tim clears, year 4, KG. What are we doing?
Well, that's cap. I got to the bottom of their VORPs. It was actually really close. They were only separated by 1 spot in VORP, so it doesn't clear at all. Actually, you're cooked.
Brax the Bandit said, Atlanta Carmelo. Heartbreak emoji. Almighty Scambo. Of course, he had to get a super chat in today. He said, free James Buttercup. Elron Jung Hoon.
You heard him. Free James Buttercup.
James Buttercup.
Man, crack the gates for my man James B. Man.
Yeah, you heard him. Man.
James B's getting timed out for the rest of the week. How about that? Buttercup. Arch said WPC, and that will conclude our show. We will be back tomorrow with a better topic than we talked about today. Probably the same crew at the same time, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Merry
Except
Christmas.
for James.
Later.